Oh, it's live. And smooth.
Oh, are we live? Are we smooth?
Welcome back to Frostbite Chaos versus
Yes,
Atomic Squad.
Right, I think it. I'll reload Twitch as well to verify that it actually does work. But I think we're back. I don't think there's anyone here yet, so good. We are having a fight in the bot lane in the meantime, though, as Frostbite is actually winning there. The fight. I'll wait for a bigger recap once I'm sure we are back on stream. As we actually have another catcher in the mid lane. XDO, his squad out won't actually die, as of course the Swain ultimate gives a lot of bonus health, or in general. As yeah.
Frostbite have been winning completely across the map so far this game. Bipolar has done a lot of work in a lot of these smaller skirmishes in order to get the team where they are right now. With this Illusion is mega far behind in the bot lane, so he's probably completely out of the game for the rest of the game now, really.
Yes. Right, yes. I think we are back, yeah. So indeed, Frostbite have been doing a good job, especially saw a big team fight just a little bit earlier where a multi-man knockoff from Bipolar Sunshine got comboed with Gekno, getting a beautiful multi-gnar into the wall. So just a big AoE being thrown out, working very, very well for Frostbite. And the goal lead isn't massive yet. Actually, Gekno is in trouble in this top side, has to flash away from Bobo. Flash is up for the Malphite, but doesn't want to use it. Just tries to walk around Yosef Tekno close to try and complete the play there. They are just trying to run further away on this top side, but Tekno is just going to be a little bit faster. The Lightning will crash down and finish off Gekno. But so far, we do see quite some farm difference, I think, especially in the bot and mid lane for some squads, which has been keeping this gold lead fairly close, as it's not actually above 1,000 after that pick anymore. But still, Frostbite do have the lead in this game, and especially Kuba has been has fallen behind quite far. So this solution will really be in trouble, as actually because Dior is engaged upon in the mid lane. We do see the Grand Starfall used by Sunlight. As now also Kuba is in trouble in this bot lane. Will be taken down. There's actually 3 members showing up for Atomic Squad. We'll make sure that the dive actually is started. The turret is destroyed, and Frostbite will quite away. Gekno also teleporting in, but Battle Session still wants to go forward here in this play. Will be pulled back, not flashes in with the Cyclone, but Sunlight not really close. Braum is the first one to be taken down as the Truce Burst lands on Tetsu. Tekno isn't very, very low, but no one to follow up just yet. But Battle actually gets called, and then yet third by XDR. The Swain manages to get a kill out of the play at the end, as Frostbite just being a bit careless there, Samet having to run away from Boba. Flashes across the wall here for the Malphite, but Nacho is there to try and save his ADC. No unstoppable force is there for the Malphite, as Nacho tries to just walk away, but it's quite difficult walking away from such a fast rock. But I think he will be able to get out. There's a lot of plays already, but good moments to come back.
Yep. Frostbite there, they're looking to recover a little bit of gold back after losing that mid lane. Alright, and I feel like they just overstepped slightly with Sunshine just stepping into tower range and giving over. I think he gave over a shutdown there to the Swain, which is pretty significant, as it now means that Atomic Squad have been able to really snowball this into multiple objectives. Now with top tower down, mid tower down, and now the Herald down, so this bot turret probably doesn't last much longer for this world. And they now have positioning on this Drake, and it's going to be very hard for Frostbite to really walk in here into a Malphite and Braum.
Yeah, indeed. Frostbite haven't been able to take down as many turrets just yet, as Frostbite are moving forward already. Are able to knock Bobo and Billy DVC out of position. I was first over the wall for Bobo, so Malphite not having that
very big
just yet, and indeed it will mean the major engage for Atomic Squad will be gone in this fight. The Glacial Fissure might be what is needed now, as Frostbite are just starting up this dragon. Atomic Squad don't want to give it up just yet, as somebody just tries to throw out those Qs. XTR starts to walk forward, as he is the main tank right now, it seems. But no, Atomic Squad don't want to contest just as aggressively. It is only the second break just yet, and they are looking perhaps at the mid tier 2. Frostbite is looking to at least stop that 5 members of Frostbite walking towards his mid lane, but it's kind of a clunky engage for now. As Gekno taking a lot of damage already in the fight, will move out of Mega Nars, and Nacho gets caught out with the Glacial Fissure. In the meantime, it is Tekno trying to run away there, as it is Nacho almost taken out. The ultimate is
Wombo.
good though. Sanfet makes the first kill. Cyclone in the middle of the team as Agnior is the next one to fall. Bobo now having to run away, but the Ignite takes him down slowly. Kuba throws out the culling, but the damage isn't really high as he just us too far behind. Now gets caught out. Cleanse is good to get out, but no, Sanfet still manages to get the kill as in the back there is Cornerstone just trying to bully Tagano a little bit, trying to goad him into a fight as the rest of his team is right there. Techno does use a Stormbringer at the end as Frostbite is very, very low, but the stuns are there to make sure Tagano can't finish any single one of them, as it's just Bobo left, but he doesn't really have anything to respond there. Until the boss force is almost up, but it's still just Frostbite winning the fight.
Yeah, great team fighting there by Frostbite Chaos. Layering the CC of the Solar Flare, of the Wukong ultimate coming through, the Cyclone hitting everyone there, and then the Skies Descend hitting everyone as well. Just Atomic Squad couldn't move for probably a good 6 or 7 seconds there, so they really didn't get much chance to fight back, and it does result in, I think over the course of it all, I think it was 3-0 and a mid lane tower going back over to Frostbite. And they now end that whole play with a 3k gold lead in 20 minutes.
Yeah, indeed. Now it really does jump up. The gold lead went from very, very close to about 3,000 now. And yeah, Frostbite just showing that their team fighting is just so much better, that they are able to play the much more together style. And I've just been able to punish Atomic Squad so incredibly effectively in these team fights. As I think outside of it, Atomic Squad have been keeping fairly close, but for the rest, it's just Frostbite who has been having the number once it came to the larger team fights. And yeah, we do actually have Techno smiting the big rug away, but of course it is also that Frostbite, the longer it goes, the more stacks Sunlight will get, and the more he will just start shredding through the team. So getting ahead this early on with a stacking Acel on your team is just incredibly valuable. So Cornerstone might have actually got out Billy and the NPC here. But Brown is fairly tanky. He can also try to jump away, but Barbaro Session is tenacious. The eye is thrown out there as well as the Glacier Fissure. So at the end, the NPC can walk away, but a lot uses splash in from Barbaro Session, trying to secure the kill. Cyclone also thrown out. As Billy the NPC is able to jump away. Cyclone's still there. As Gekno also shows up. First rush gets used, but only lands onto one for now. Gekno still going for secures the kill onto Tagano. As Ignor's meantime in the middle of the fight tries to heal up as much as possible. As Gekno falls down in the end. It will be the million traded for the end. At the end, as Kaiser said, gets thrown out, but the MC doesn't get finished off just yet. But Kuba is in trouble. Sanvet can't finish him off as the flash is used. Bobo in trouble, has to walk away, but it's not enough. Sanvet going for securing the kill. Billy the MC, the one with who it started all, will be the only one to survive, but Frostbite can do so much.
Yeah, Bipolar Sunshine not letting Billy walk up there and play disrespectfully at all. He really punishes him for trying to get vision in his side of the jungle there. And I feels like it just went from bad to worse for Atomic Squad. They get Braum out eventually, but they sacrifice their jungler for it, and then the rest of the team come back in to try and help, salvage the situation. And it just results in Frostbite taking 4 kills down, and the only person to survive is that support, is the Braum. 4 players, 4 deaths for a Braum is probably not the trade that Atomic Squad want to be looking for. And it does mean that Atakan goes over to Frostbite, and now it's an even larger gold lead, nearly 6k now, plus Atakan, plus 2 Drakes. It's a really difficult game now for Atomic Squad, I think.
Yeah, Frostbite has just been fighting so incredibly clean in these fights, and just has been able to play so aggressively with it. And yeah, the gold lead is massive. Dragon isn't up just yet, will be up in a little bit, with Baron being a bit further away. So perhaps Atomic Squad might just want to wait, but of course against this Acel, it is just going to be a growing problem the longer you allow him to stack up, because it's not like the smaller where it's a single breakpoint now. It is really just every fight he becomes a little bit stronger, and he will just start to burn more of your health. As Gegno is in trouble on this top side. Gegno shows up as Kuba there to try and support, but damage isn't really there just yet. Culling thrown out. Gegno able to do enough damage. Kuba securing the kill with the culling, as actually Bipolar Sunshine now meets with Sagano in the jungle, as Kuba is still there, but they're not confident to actually fight this 1v2. It seems as right now it is also in the mid lane. Sanvet 1v1ing with XDR will be stunned up. Crucial rush to finish off the kill. Nice play there. Bipolar Sunshine still 1v2 in the top side. Is able to get Kuba at the end, but Techno does do a lot of damage. Starts the heal off, can secure the kill. Shut down
over the Volibear.
To the Volibear. So Bipolar Sunshine just a bit too aggressive there. He's able to get a kill, but the shotgun is much larger. But Frostbite will be at least getting his Drake, I think.
Yep, hopefully Frostbite should be able to secure this Drake, but Nacho may be caught out a little bit.
Yeah.
No, they just don't have the damage with the full tank Malphite. But yeah, Bipolar Sunshine there really flexing his muscles a bit there, sitting there in a full 1v2 and gets a kill out of it onto the Lucian. Probably not worth overall, I would say, giving 1,000 gold over. But I guess you don't really care if it goes over to Volibear. He's going for this a lot more tankier Volibear build. It's not like I don't think he's really going to be a threat ever to Sunlight or Sam on this Volibear with the amount of peel from Wukong, the owner that they have. So maybe it's a better place to give it than somewhere like the Swain or the Lucian directly.
Yeah, definitely not the worst member for it to go through. For now, is we have Techno. He's just kind of waiting in this top, which perhaps wanting to 1v1 Gekno here, but with that tanky build, he doesn't do as much, I think. And at the end, he isn't. He will just wait. I'm not sure if he's actually gonna try to cancel the Gnar.
Dior is heading up that way. So
Yeah,
potentially 1v2 here.
Gekno will just run away from the Volibear, not wanting to risk it. Will notice that he is there and just get out, or maybe was just cancelled by the eye. So at the end, no real play happening on the top side. Frostbite, I think, has shrunk a little bit over with that shutdown going down, but it will be sole point for them. So Atomic Sword need to find something soon, because otherwise the Chemtech Soul will be going down and it will be becoming even more difficult. With Baron, it will be the first objective up. As for the rest, we do have Bobo. Just throwing another seismic shard, but at the end, no real fight starting.
Yeah, I think Chemtech Soul typically not the most impactful soul. It's not the one that anyone ever wants, I don't think. But it will help just make it so some of these CCs are a little bit less annoying. The Swain slow won't be as impactful. They'll be able to get out of Volibear stun a little bit faster, and the Brawn passive stuns a little bit faster. And then Wukong just is naturally very tanky through the passive, so just to be able to survive, put out more combos, recycle his abilities more often will be pretty significant, I think. But I do think Baron will be the next big fight.
Yeah, as it will actually have spawns now, and it is the Maxwell who is there first. As you might have Nacho got out a little bit, but he's quite tanky, of course, with the Leona, and really MC also taking some damage from the Aurelian Soul, but at the end, both supports are able to survive. As this Techno running forward with, of course, Sunlight can just fly away back to safety. But for now, Frostbite aren't really looking for this Baron just yet, kind of perhaps hoping for a bit more side, hoping for a bit of a pick. Because some squad are really just hovering around it. As Sam Feb might be caught out a little bit on this top side. Pings are coming out as he's trying to run away as fast as possible, but Techno can be quick if he wants to. Will be just sprinting towards Sam Fed now. It's actually teleports coming in. The rest of Atomic Cloud isn't actually there as much as Billy MC. The only one really close. Next year is also now walking back up. Sunlight also flying in as Techno might be in trouble. Flash, Cyclone lands only onto one as the tower actually still standing there. Will be favorable for Atomic Squad as 4 members of Frostbite now showing up, but the tower is not really something that they can drive just yet, but Borderlands Sunshine taking a lot of damage already in that exchange. With Xeor already having used itself, Techno also having thrown his down at the end, so a lot of cooldowns being thrown for now, but Borderlands Sunshine does fall quite low. Techno is almost going Mega Gnar. We do have the teleport now being channeled by Bobo as we do have already Xeor just got out off the side of the fight as he's taken down, Gulling now thrown out, but Gekno will be taking most of it. Techno will be jumping forward, trying to perhaps steal this Baron as Baron is actually jumping out a bit, wanting to stay alive for the fight. Solar Flare thrown in the middle, but doesn't really stun only Techno in for now. As Billy MC, the next one caught out in the middle of the fight, Nacho though, just trying to do as much stun as he can. Cleanse used by Kuba. And Samet actually called out in the middle of the fight, takes a lot of damage. Battle Powder is now going for it, wants to go for the fight, but Techno is there to protect his ADC in the middle of the fight, though. It is Bobo doing a lot of work as Frostbite so incredibly low. Techno, the only one with health here. Samet has to try and get away, but the stun just barely lands. Barrier is there, though. His teleport is being channeled. Samet will fall in yet another massive shutdown going over to Techno, but Sunlight now wants to try and catch out the Volibear as a result. Gekno is also there, but with Kuba close, it's not much they can do as Techno is really becoming a bit of a problem in this game. Next teleport is being channeled here. Sunlight actually having to flash away. Gekno now close, having healed up a little bit. Teleport in as well for XD, so Atomic was actually looking a bit fight heavy here. Sunlight now having to run away, but he gets rooted, pulled back, takes a lot of damage. Sakai's stance is good, but only doesn't do enough as Gekno just can't quite get the damage down, and at the end, Atomic Squad, it's a messy fight, but they are able to come out ahead.
Yeah, that's potentially a Baron angle as well for Atomic, and it really puts them back into this game. Less than 1,000 gold difference now. I think the really big thing there was once all of Frostbite's ults had gone down, their damage falls off a cliff, and it just meant that this Volibear was kind of unkillable for them to deal with, and they couldn't, like, Nacho maybe overchase a little bit onto the Lucian as another fight is breaking out again here on Nacho.
Yeah, Nacho is able to survive for a very, very long time as the entirety of Atomic Squad has respawned in the meantime, but Nacho is able to stall for enough time as the rest of Frostbite has come back, so at least the Baron won't be taken. Also, with this Dragon being up, Atomic Squad don't run the risk losing the soul, it seems, for now, and at least Nacho has been able to accomplish that. 4 members of Frostbite now up once again, and they might just want to trade this Baron for the Dragon, as utilizing, of course, the advantage that you get with the soul point. Techno is left alone with the Drake as the rest of the squad already going towards the Baron, noticing what Frostbite's trying to do. Not
Lucian's back in base.
Is here, as it is indeed. Kuba has backed in the meantime, shredding through this Baron. Is Frostbite very, very quickly with that breath from the Aurelian Soul, and Techno just isn't here. Baron is secure. Dragon will be traded at least, but Frostbite able to quickly get this. It will be absolutely massive for them, so they will now get the gold lead back, get this Baron, and can try to do as much as they can for the next 3.5 minutes.
A great play by Frostbite to capitalize on Atomic going for the trying to deny the soul point from Chaos. I think Chaos will always take this trade of taking away the Baron, and I really feel like Atomic just slipped up there. I don't think Cuba can back in that situation, like regardless of items and things like that, because it's just the Baron dies so fast at this point in the game, especially to A-Sol with the Leandries and the max ranked Q. It just shreds through these objectives so fast, and I feel like you could just send one to go do the Drake, and then everyone else can try and prevent this Baron take.
Yeah, it did seem like Atomic Squad was trying to do that, but just weren't quite able to send it, or perhaps with Kuba going back, they just didn't have enough members to really walk in there, and I'm not sure where XDR went as well, so I think just a bit of miscoordination there by Atomic Squad, where they weren't quite able to go for the entire play as they wanted it to, and in the meantime we do have some scraps going across the map. As Sunlight is actually in trouble. You're doing so much damage against the Iranian Soul. Flash forward will secure the kill there by the Swain, as some force also used on this bot side. Gekno is in trouble as Kuba also shows up. In the meantime, it is XDR and Techno fighting with Nacho and Bipolar Sunshine. Sambets joining in within a second, but it is the storming out by Techno. Will secure the kill onto Nacho. Bipolar Sunshine also falling very, very low. Sambet now the only one left, but there's 2 very tanky members, and you just can't get quite through them as Techno securing yet another kill. And Atomic Squad, they just look back into this game. The Baron completely gone for Frostbite now, as they weren't able to do anything with it. Gold lead is here for Atomic Squad, as it's just the fights they didn't need to take going across the map and losing.
Yeah, I think we see there the strength of the Swain into the A-Sol matchup. The A-Sol goes for the Q, breathing the fire breath, and it's just instantly cancelled. So he has to then wait a couple of seconds for that cooldown to come back up, and in that time the damage is already done. The Swain is slowing him, he can't get away, he's got to stand in his ult, so he's just constantly healing for the damage being put out by Sunlight, and it's just results in a bad fight in the end. And as they lose their mid inhib here now.
Yes, the fight actually once again starting. Gegno already falling very low. It is a good start for underneath the turret, but Techno isn't going to follow it quite yet. As Nacho tries to walk away, but he's not too mobile, of course, on Diana. Wants to just go in for a little bit more of a route. It is finally Kuba secured, but it's not the main member you want to take it down. As Bobo Sunshine jumping into the back, they need to get another kill. Techno will finally fall, as Bobo and Exterior are now in trouble. It is a very good demonic concession, as he's able to heal up for so much. Does a lot of damage as well. As now Bobo Sunshine doesn't really care for it as much. Demon Flare thrown out again, as Tempest is able to secure the kill. So Frostbite finally actually able to turn a fight to their hand, but it is a bit of a messy fight, and it's just showing how much XDR can do on this Swain. He just heals for so much. He's just so tanky.
Yep, the anti-heal, so far only one anti-heal item coming through, and it's on the A-Sol, who I think ideally doesn't really want to be hitting the Swain. He wants to be hitting frontline targets.
Yes, in the meantime, Bobo Session is actually still fighting with Bobo, chasing down the Malphite. Finally will secure the kill, so that is the ace for Frostbite. Not much they can take with it though. And yeah,
it's not, but it's such a late death in comparison to the rest of Atomic, that their entire tempo is kind of just gone. Like they're going to be 4 members for another 40 seconds. They're not going to have everyone on the map, so it's a long time for this inhib to respawn in that time, and it really just lets off some pressure away from Frostbite now, as they can look to regain around this potentially soul point or soul dragon.
Yes, it will be about a minute before it will spawn, as I just noticed the hourglass, and it will, of course, yeah, Frostbite have some time right now to at least regain some momentum, make sure that the waves are at least pushed their way. But I think in these recent fights, one thing that really has just been happening is I think that Frostbite just have been playing a bit too scrappy. We've just been seeing too many fights kind of being started at a random, as now actually Sandbad might be in trouble. Will Arcane shift away, but still get stunned up there by Tegano as he will walk towards the gate, as now Tegano might be the one taken down. As Stormbringer is used across the wall, but the NPC is caught out 3 men. 4-man Glacier Fissure is good. As Nacho takes a lot of damage from the culling across the wall, but at the end, no member will actually fall yet before this dragon is started up. As now Dior being the one who can frontline, but he doesn't really mind with as much health as he has. But with the help of that Rod of Ages and Spirit Visage, of course, as Vaporization actually a bit in the flank here, gets caught out a tiny bit by Bobo here, so needs to watch out not to take too much damage, but the rest of Frostbite is close, and now trying to get onto XDR to start. Demon Dominic Ascension already used, but CC is good, the damage is good, as they are able to one-shot the swing through everything now good. Of course, onto Sandbad, but the Ezreal is able to stay alive as the Morphin is taken down. Now as Frostbite can look for the fight further, Kuba has to flash away as the Braum is called out. Kuba now can't do enough as it's only Tegano left alive, but he has to run away. And Frostbite are just able to take the fight here. It was Atomic Sword who were able to sneak out the dragon in the middle of that fight, but Frostbite might be looking for more as now Tegano, next one called out, does do all the damage against Vaporization, Session, who also already quite low, but now with Sunlight showing up as well, Tegano has to watch out. Actually big to jump away there with the blast cone, but Nacho is there to peel for his ADC again, and Frostbite able to get a clean ace at the end, looking for the inhibitor here.
Yeah, they can get at the very minimum. They can get this inhib. If I don't know if they can end. It's only 10 seconds now on XDR, so I think they maybe only go for turret and then maybe Baron. Yeah, they fall back for the Baron. I think this is a smart call from Frostbite. They don't want to overstep and throw away another lead that they've managed to gain for themselves. And I feel like the big difference maker in that, in reality, long fight was the amount of ultimates blown by Atomic just to try and get Sam. They blew 3 ults, and all they got in return was a little bit of chunk onto the Leona and the Ezreal, and I think Ezreal, I think that was the only thing they ever burnt through it. So for the next fight towards the Dragon Pit, Frostbite just had more ults to press. They had more good ability buttons to use. And if they have this Cyclone plus the Sky's Descent, it feels like it's such a free fight for them, at least 1, if not 2 people.
Yeah, I think it's also just is when they start the fight, because this time it was really 5 members of them going onto one target, whereas I think in some other fights it's very often was just that a lot of different members were hitting onto different people, and I think if it's just a bunch of disconnected 1v1s, Stomach Squad come out a bit better, because XDR wins the 1v1 against most people, Tegano also wins the 1v1 against most people, whereas Frostbite, I think, really do need the team play a lot more to make these fights so easy, as we can see in the heroes. Now XDR might be the next one called out. Nacho and Sandbad also here will be throwing out the organization really quickly to try and do as much damage against Sunlight. Sky's Descent is thrown out, but he will be slowed by that, has to use the flash at the end, so it is a big cooldown burn for the mid laner, but catch won't come out, especially that big ace ult will be on cooldown for a bit longer.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure, I think, now for a good chunk of time onto this Swain. He can no longer get away from Bipolar Sunshine Cyclone. He can, like any other catch-outs, he's probably just going to die for it at this point in the game.
Yeah, it is very, very dangerous. Now, there isn't actually much too close yet, but of course, it will be the dragon having respawned by the time I think before he has his flashback up, so that will be the next really big fight. Is of course, I guess Squad have been able to secure the soul point for themselves, so this next dragon fight will really determine who's actually getting this soul for certain now. So both teams really want to go for this. I think Atomic Sword really good in that previous fight to just be able to still take down this dragon, and it is Kekno though doing a lot to the start. Bipolar Session jumping right onto Kuba, but doesn't really want to go for it with the NPC and XD are close. In the meantime, Kekno haven't secured that third, now in trouble with Bobo, but Nacho shows up, make sure Nar doesn't fall. Bobo does have the force, but doesn't want to use it just to maybe take down the Nar here, as especially with the Ascent and the Mercurial Scimitar. The Nar doesn't take too much damage. Inhibitor will be secure, so Frostbite doing as much as they can with this Baron. As now teleport back in from Gegno to keep up this pressure, with the Baron still being up, wanting to give as much of an advantage, especially in pressure with it, as now it is a good two-man stun over the wall. They are having to use the command and concession to run away, but Baron now jumping over the wall as well. Frostbite kind of trying to kite away. Themscroft really wanting to force them away from the start. Nacho now called out with the Glacial Fissure. Tries to walk away. Culling is there to finish off the kill, as now Gegno wants to try to run forward, but can't find the good Gnar into the wall. As now Frostbite is kind of trying to kite, do as much with his Baron, trying to just make those cannon minions still hit onto the turret. Sanfat jumping forward, wants to do the damage onto Kuba. For now, no members.
So much damage at this point.
Rolling super duper low. Instead of just throwing out those mystic shots, doing a lot of damage. Baron has fallen off, so Frostbite will decide to recall, reset, and go for this dragon.
Yeah, just a little bit of an overstep there by Nacho, I feel like. They managed to burn the Swain ult with no one else really in it, which is a huge cooldown to try and burn against Atomic Squad in this team comp.
Yeah,
I do feel like I think they probably wanted to fall back, but now they hopefully will just have positioning on this Greg as Targamo is a little bit pushed forward.
Yeah, it helps a bit by that eye there to make sure Sunlight can't go too far. Force flash away from the Aurelion, so already 3-man stun into 3-man Cyclone as the fight kicks off. Sunlight is in trouble as he can still get stunned up. The Sunlight trying to do the damage as Bobo, the first one taken down. Tegano still going forward as Gegno has to jump out as well. A lot of damage going down here as Nacho's jumping in, but Gegno, the one who's taken down instead, as they are still full health. Not all the damage going down onto Swain just yet. Nacho in the middle of the fight, deals so much damage from the concession. It is Sanfetto who gets another kill as Kuba also gets a kill onto Nacho, as it is still 3 for 3 as now by Border Sunshine goes forward, secures a kill on the Deer, is able to stay alive. Kuba no, almost gets blown up there in the middle of the fight. Another kill going forward as it's Sunlight securing the kill, and Frostbite, 4 members at the end, 3 members at the end are still alive. It's a messy fight, but they're looking for the end.
Yeah, an insane fight there from Frostbite. Sam went through that almost the entire fight, basically untouched. They just have no way of getting onto this Ezreal reliably, which means he's just putting out, like, he's just queuing constantly in his fights and is just doing absolute chunks. He literally deleted Braum's health bar there, like 50% of it gone in one WQ. But it does mean that Frostbite will start this off with a 1-0.
Yeah, just a great first game by them. I think at the end the team fighting really made a difference for them. And yeah, in that final fight, Sunlight just able to fly away. Badly really saved them, and yeah, so thanks everyone who was able to stick around after I guess the pause from the stream side. We will be taking a bit of a break for a couple of minutes so everyone can grab some tea, grab some breath especially. So we will be back for game 2 of this. I think it's a best of 3. Am I correct?
I believe it's best of 3.
Yeah, it is best of 3. So see you next game for the best of 3 between Frostbite Chaos and Atomic Squad.
I'm on the outside looking in, and this world around me is getting colder. I don't know where we can begin, but our bodies getting closer now. Give me one chance, let me feel your touch. Touch from within. Give me one chance, let me feel your touch. Touch from within. Give me one chance, let me feel your touch. Touch from within. Give me one chance, let me feel your touch. Touch from within. Give me one chance, let me feel your touch. Touch from within.
I remember a time the stars were aligned. All we did was shine. We were drunk on red wine, on sunset and vine. Back when you were mine. We were a photograph, glory
Welcome back, everyone. Sorry for the slightly longer break as expected. We are back with Atomic Squad versus Frostbite Chaos. I'm still joined by Ellwood. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, so I think from context clues we are getting, I think we were forgotten about. So I'm not sure whether we are actually going to be able to look at the draft or whether the draft has already happened. So stand by for a little bit, but we will first be talking a bit more about the first game. What were some key moments in the first game?
I think there were just so many fights. I felt like constant fighting every like 30 seconds or so. Every objective was contested. It was so huge. I think there was so many big wombo combo team fights for Frostbite that went just so well, getting multiple 2, 3, 4-man ults between Nacho, Sunlight, and Sunshine. And I really feel like that was what really like catapulted them ahead. They did have some slip ups. I feel like there was a lot of Gekno got caught out on side lane quite a lot as did Sunlight. They both got caught out on very isolated on the map, which did allow Atomic Squad to get back into the game and really make it a really contested game. But as those objectives kept falling and objective fights became more and more important, it really did just fall to Frostbite picking up the win.
Yeah, definitely. I think just when Frostbite played to their comp strength and just played around those team fights and then go for the sort of more disorganized scrap fights, they just look so much stronger. And I think there were also just were some moments where Atomic Squad just grouped up a bit too much, just stuck together a bit too much and trying to get one or two members out. And as a result, got wombo combo down. So yeah, just good play. Talking about wombo combo, we see the draft has actually happened. So I'm not sure. I don't think stream can see this yet. So I will quickly just list up the champions. Before we can say, I will quickly list up the champions. So it will be on Frostbite, Tom Kench for Gekno, Diana for Bipolar, Yasuo for Sunlight, Varus for Zenvet, and Trinacho is back on his bard. Whereas for the side of Atomic Squad, there will actually an Olaf top, Xin Zhao in the jungle. So it seems like they picked that up quite soon away from Bipolar Sunshine. Lysandra in the mid lane, and then a Senna as the ADC with a Taric finally as the support. So what do you think about the drafts for the current game?
I think there's a lot of comfort for the side of Frostbite. Gekno loves his Time Kench, he loves the Toad. The Diana Yasuo combo is just huge. Like if it lands onto multiple people, then it's free Yasuo ults for every fight. Varus, I think, is arguably the strongest ADC in the laning ADC at the minute in the game. I don't know if there's another ADC really that pushes him out very often. And the Bard is Bard's an interesting one. I always love seeing a Bard game. I think everyone loves seeing Bard. That being said, I really do like. Again, I do like Atomic Squad's comp. I think Olaf Zinzao. I don't know how it's going to be really difficult. I feel like to stop those champs from just kind of running through the team. The number of melees that Frostbite have. So I think it will be interesting to see how much of a lead Atomic Squad can generate through this top lane matchup. As I do feel like it's heavily favored towards the Olaf in the Olaf versus Tom Kench.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think, of course, Tom Kench is. I think he's a surprising amount of damage, especially with some good licks coming in. So I wouldn't count out the Tom Kench entirely, but especially I think once level 6 is hit with the Rock and Rock, the Olaf can just deny a lot of what Tom Kench wants to do, and I'm not even sure whether Tom Kench can even devour the Olaf while he is in his ultimate. So yeah, I think the Olaf will kind of win the lane quite easily. Of course, Gekno is quite an experienced tank player, and I think he's really good on the Mundo. I think Tom Kench has a lot of similar traits, with also him just kind of wanting to stack health a lot. So I won't count out Gekno just yet. I think especially one thing for Frostbite that's going to be interesting to say the least is the Diana Yasuo, and especially with the amount of squishies on the enemy team, I think this can just completely melt through a team or just pop the team if it is used in a good spot. But there are, I think, a lot of counter play to this for the side of Atomic Squad, because especially the Lysandra with her ultimate can just either jail the Diana when he goes in, or the Yasuo, or just herself if she wants to save herself, and also the Taric ultimate if it is used at a perfect timing. can deny a lot of it as well. So I think Frostbite have a lot of interesting things that they can use to go forward with, but I think there's a lot Atomic Squad can do as well to counterpunch. My only real problem with Atomic Squad there is that they don't have anyone to really engage. I think XDR really is going to be the one that wants to engage for them right now, because for the rest they just don't really have any real CC that's easily going forward. Whereas I think Frostbite, of course, with Bipolar Sunshine going in, or Semva just landing his ult, or Nacho even landing one of his brilliant ults, can just do a lot. So yeah, I think once fight starts, I think it's could have a good chance, but they really need to get through the first phase where Frostbite is pretty much given a free engage.
Yeah, I think it's also interesting that Tarek has gone through this. Tarek center bot lane. It's a lot of strong self-sustain and self-healing that I think will allow them to really maybe let this center scale into something that is potentially a real problem for Frostbite to be able to deal with, as we do see an invade here into the blue side.
Yeah,
Frostbite
Tegano
have
really
managed
trying to
to
bait, but
out.
Bipolar Sunshine now in trouble. Doesn't actually get stunned up by the Dazzle, but Bipolar Sunshine still has to flash away. Exhaust is thrown out. Sunlight is there to try and view it. It's a good stun, but it's not enough. As there's already first blood coming through for Atomic Squad, and it's just such cheeky play there. Tegano showing himself, but the other 4 members flanking around the side, managing to catch out the jungler. Such a frustrating start already for Frostbite, as Diana will be able to come back, I think, before the first camp spawns, but whew, not the start you want.
Yeah, kind of greedy there, I feel like, from Gekno to not be hovering the jungle entrances and instead be a little bit closer to Bipolar Sunshine, just looking for a little bit of poke on the Xin Zhao. And because of not watching that jungle entrance, they just walk through and behind Bipolar Sunshine without him ever knowing, and he has to burn his flash as well, and it really reduces his early ganking pressure not having that flash. So it'll be interesting to see how long it now takes him to get some work done. As you see, a nice trade in the bot lane there from Nacho onto both Kuba and Billy.
Yeah, good start to the lane, but I mean, I do think that Diana, of course, doesn't have the strongest gang 3-6 anyway, as that ultimate really is her only real CC in that kit. So I don't think Bipolar Sunshine would have had the most presence anyway, but it will just be a lot more difficult. And yeah, it just also means that with this invader coming in from Tegano, she really needs to watch out not to be called out, because Sunlight is actually taking a lot of damage to the Euro as well. As I do think as Lissandra quite a nice matchup. Has quite a nice matchup in the Yasuo, as the moment Yasuo comes close, she can just press W and get a good trade on the Yasuo as a result. So yeah, Atomic Squad now getting a lot of advantages here in the early game, as Bobo actually has roamed towards his mid lane. Might want to try and get a catch on the Sunlight, but it just seems to have been being out as Gekno managing to spot out the Olaf being gone. But we'll be losing a little bit as the Diana tries to go for the counter right?
Yeah, I think really significant right now is Tagano cleared his red and then instantly looked to invade Bipolar, and it meant that Bipolar had to give up his walls. And so he's looking for the counter invade, but Tagano's reset and is back on the map and with a longsword, so he is stronger than Bipolar right now, and Bipolar still doesn't have flash.
Ooh, in the meantime, in the mid lane, it is XDR getting called out by the turret shot by Bipolar Sunshine in trouble. No flash indeed, as he will just be taken down. Nacho is there, Sam, but also the first one to join in. Tagano tries to run away, does have the flash up, so doesn't need to worry too much, as at the end decides to flash away from that arrow from Sam Vet, but it is at the end kills going to both sides, as Sunlight just got gifted a bit of a kill there in the mid lane.
Yeah, XDR taking a tower shot, and a completely unnecessary tower shot as well. The minion's not close enough to the tower to start tanking. Yeah, and it just meant he just wasn't expecting the damage output, I think. And I think that's a real, it's a bit of a get out of jail free card there for Sunlight, because I don't think this matchup is particularly great for the Yasuo. So it's just going to reveal so much pressure now that he's an extra 300 gold up.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Yasuo is just a champion that can be so frustrating to deal with once he just gets a lot stronger in the lane, and we will now be getting a bit of an easier time. Still will be in a bit of disadvantages, of course, as ranged matchup against Lissandra is frustrating, and going forward against Lissandra is even harder, as it still won't be easy, but it will give him perhaps a bit easier lane right here. But at the end, it was Tegano actually getting a kill in the jungle as well, so Bipolar falling a bit further behind. The gap, the farm difference isn't actually that large just yet, as with this invade from Tegano it will be about even, but especially those two deaths from Bipolar Sunshine hurt quite a lot, and yeah, it will just make the Diana's job a bit harder, and getting her down before levels is very important. In the meantime, we do see a fight in this bot lane. Really, the NPC taking a lot of damage from the Frostbite bot lane, but at the end he doesn't actually get taken down. Senvet and Nacho still perhaps looking for that kill. But with Kuba there, it is a bit difficult, as of course Senna does give some healing. Although right now, Derek is still sticking around, perhaps wanting to aid his ADC, but Kuba does do just good amount of damage. We do have actually Sunlight showing up, but Paparoshan also in the flank secures the kill on the middle of the NPC. I didn't even see him coming in across the mini map, and just a beautiful catch there for Paparoshan Sunshine to punish the support.
Yep, Bipolar Sunshine just spawning out of a wall there, it felt like. I don't know where he came from, never saw him, just gets in. I believe you flashed the wall in order to make sure he's doing the E there, and just one-shots Billy NPC, who's just overstayed a little bit trying to protect his ADC, I feel like.
Yeah, but
There's
just
a lot of movements actually happening in this top lane matchup right now. Gekno is about 7 CS down, and the wave is pushing away from him right now quite heavily, so he's going to probably be about close to 15 CS down here in this top lane matchup right now.
Yes, I mean, this is one thing that I will commend Atomic Squad already last game we saw it, and I think last game it was the same, is that they just have been really, really good at farming up and getting leads through that. Gekno actually jumps forward, but it's right when the Olaf hits level 6, so instantly has to flash away a bit sloppy there, or maybe a bit frustrating as well for Gekno to be called out that it will be the Ragnarok already thrown down, as the VAR is still up. Boros Sunshine is here in this top side, perhaps wants to go for the dive, but both Gekno and himself don't have too much health to actually go for this. Although Bobo doesn't have any mana left up, so...
Yeah, Bobo has no mana, but wave is hitting now, so it's maybe not the best timing for it. As it does look like they call it off.
Yeah.
This does mean that with that free pressure that's been bought away from the bot side, that Targano will be able to take this Drake completely for free.
Yeah, and it will be first Drake going over once again to the side of Atomic Squad, so... yeah, nice for them. It will mean that Paparos is actually taking this entire top side for Atomic Squad, as I do think we've been seeing some of the highest invade numbers we have seen in recent times, as it just seems like neither team wants to stick to their own jungle for now. But it is that Dragon secured at the end. Techno is still on this bot side, as he wants to just perhaps split the map, top the bot instead of Sembit. Guys, run away still gives the stack over to the Senna. The Senna has actually, the ADC Senna has been buffed in the recent patch, so a lot stronger than it was before, or not a lot stronger, a bit stronger than it was before, but just has a bit more chance to actually get those souls from killing the units herself. As in the meantime, we do have the Lissandra moving a bit towards his bot side, but at the end, not wanting to go for it, perhaps just wanting to catch it so much.
Yeah, like you say, the Senna buffs have shot her up in popularity, I think, as we see Gekno going for the kill here, I think, on Bobo.
No Ragnarok up, nothing he can do against it in the power, and just Gekno managing to get the kill. Finally, it was persistent and also rewarded forward. At the end, the Olaf just sticking around too long, and it's a free kill for Gekno. And Frostbite now also have those feats of warfare.
Yeah, Bobo not respecting the damage that his Tahm Kench can put out with the Tongue Lash and the ult, as we see. Ooh, Sunlight doing schmoves.
Yeah, gets stunned up though by the Frozen Tomb. No flash for him just yet, or maybe he did have it, didn't want to throw it, so will just be taken on. It is teleport toward the mid lane from Gekno to at least stop the wave from being lost, but it is a kill going over to the side of Atomic Squad, and Paparoshan was going for these Void Guards. He will now not be able to continue, as he must still go for it. It is the Moonfall thrown out, but the advantage is there for Atomic Squad, as it is 1-for-1 for now, but Gekno has 3 members looking at him. The rest of Frostbite nowhere close. Wants to try to jump out, CC isn't there, but the movement is there for Bobo as the slows are coming in. Golden Shadow gets thrown out as well, as Gekno gets a lot of shields, but it won't be enough. Finally, you're securing that kill, so Atomic Squad managing to get some kills in that top side. Yeah, Frostbite just losing out.
Yeah, Frostbite a little bit greedy there. They've lost their middle. They lose their mid laner and decide that they could maybe fight these grubs or try and take away a second one after taking away the first. And I feel like they could just walk away. We're getting one there, I think is perfectly fine to do. Now you just lose more, and now in this matchup top lane where Gekno was maybe ahead after getting the solo kill on Bobo, he's now pretty far behind, I feel like.
Yeah, so you have Kuba getting engaged upon. It is Tekno showing up, as the Tempered Fate is very good there by Nacho, has I think been putting absolute masterclasses on this champion. As it will make sure that no flashes actually have to be burned on this bot side. We're just going a bit aggressive onto Kuba, but yeah, Atomic Squad now have a 1k gold lead. Kuba also with the Senna, of course, will scale very, very nicely into this game. So I think Atomic Squad really looking set in this game too. And Frostbite need to find something quickly, although they do still have a very good team fight.
They do, yeah. I think it's been difficult so far. I think the lanes have been pretty oppressive from top and mid, which means that Bipolar Sunshine hasn't really been able to link with either Sunlight or Gekno particularly well yet. Which is, when you're against something like a Xin Zhao that has a lot of pressure, I feel like it makes the game significantly more difficult. But I think you're right. They are just looking for these later game team fights.
Yeah, as we have more of a fight on the top side. The Devourer there getting cleansed by the Ragnarok usage, so Bobo showing off how that interaction worked, what we were wondering before the game. So yeah, can just completely negate the ultimate from Gekno there. At the end, Xemvet is actually a bit low on this bot side. Needs to watch out as Belly NPC and Kuba are waiting in this bush. Nacho is there, as we also have the barrier and the flash up, as it's actually instead Nacho who's the one engaged upon flash away from the Bard to save himself. He does get underneath the third. Magical Journey is there. Now Gekno spits Barbaro Session right onto Bobo. Does take a lot of damage, but Diana does enough for herself and able to get the kill onto Bobo. Nice play there to quickly deliver the Diana onto this Olaf and get that Moonfall to actually land.
Yeah, a great lane gank there from Bipolar Sunshine, eating to the minions to make sure he's in range of the Olaf, who has no Ragnarok, no flash. So it's very hard as Sam's being dove here in the bot lane.
Yeah, ultimate from the Tarek being thrown out as well, but Sembet actually they don't want to go for that. I think they could have just ran at Sembet there, but a bit too scared of the tower getting up, and the teleport from Sunlight, who does take a lot of damage. It is across the wall, 2-man root there by XDR, goes golden, and that's a kill secured. Beautiful play there by Atomic Squad, absolutely clean execution. XDR managing to make sure that double kill gets taken down there. I know a lot of plays also going over to the side of Atomic Squad.
Yeah, great flash forward from XDR there, knowing that this Varus has no sums, he can't get away. He's just doomed that whole play, I think. And Nacho's going for a cheeky interrupt. He's perfectly fine though, but that does mean that Frostbite are not on the map for this second Drake, which means Atomic Squad will get up to the 2 Drakes here, which I think they're very happy with. Like, this team scales really well, and so I think the later their strength can become, or denying the soul from Frostbite to neutralize some of that scaling that Frostbite will have, is pretty big for Atomic.
Yes, I think we'll see in a second which risk we are exactly getting. So is the Hextech soul, so that's also a really, really strong soul for Atomic Squad to try and rush down. And I don't think they had necessarily the strongest comp for it, but it is just, I think, one of the strongest tools with the slows, with the damage, and them going over to...
It makes the Olaf engage, like, he can just throw his axes, and the slow is longer. The Senna with her, like, by the time that the soul point will be coming around, her range will just be a kind of insane.
Yes,
and so I think it makes it very difficult.
Yeah, we have another fight on this top lane, as we did see the Devourer cleansed away with the Ragnarok again. Boba does take some damage, but the Gekno also falls fairly low, as it is actually the Guardbreaker road we secured. Yeah, he is there to try and secure the kill, and Bobo no Ragnarok, no Ghost anymore, as he has just used it right now. Moonfall is still up, Bobo Sunshine doesn't want to use it, doesn't have to in the end, secures the kill. Good gank there by Bobo Sunshine. Really wants to try and keep this game alive, as he really is the one on Frostbite that after getting those 2 deaths has actually been doing quite excellently. In the meantime, on this mid lane we do see the Frozen Tomb used. XDR fighting, but there's a lot of shields coming down. It's not enough though. XDR too far ahead, securing the kill onto Sunlight. Is in the meantime, we do have the Moonfall in this jungle. Barbaro Sunshine fighting with Techno, but Techno has the damage as Gekno can't come in quite on time. The Crescent Guard is enough. Techno wants to continue this fight, but Gekno has the stun, has the damage to secure his own kill, and at the end it is Frostbite and Atomic Squad getting the same amount of kills, but this is 1k gold lead for Atomic Squad.
Yeah, the jungle top duo of Frostbite are really doing a great job. Gekno making sure he can burn the Ragnarok by using his own ult, whilst the Olaf is pushed up close to him, which makes it just such an easier gank for Bipolar to come in and get the kill.
Yes, we do have this Chain of Corruption landing onto Kuba. Sembet waiting it out to throw out the arrow dead, but doesn't do a lot of damage. Just the mana's quite low on Semvet here, so I think this actually are coming in here. My Bottle Session is right there though to try and punish the Lissandra. Has to run away as quickly as possible as he is able to get out himself still, but it is Frostbite wanting to look for a fight. But Bottle Session jumping onto the Lissandra. Tempered Fate is thrown out, but Bottle Session just gets blown up. Kuba secures the kill with the Dawning Shadow. Semvet now also in trouble as he gets secured by Extior's passive. As Nacho now the one in trouble in the middle of the fight is Semvet. Can't do enough. Sunlight flashes in. Extior will secure the kill. Big shutdown going over to the Yasuo Lost Breath. Also inside the Bentley the NPC, but he doesn't secure the kill. But it's still 4 kills going over the Frostbite in a disadvantageous fight for Atomic Squad.
Yeah, it's a huge fight for Atomic Squad there. Senna picking up 3 kills throughout that whole time, including a shutdown. I think there was a 700 gold shutdown somewhere in there. Or maybe not, maybe I think that went over to Sunlight on the Lissandra kill. But this Senna is now accelerated so far and is going to pick up a tower as well.
Yes.
It means this early game weakness of the Senna kind of now just doesn't exist. He's so far ahead of the Varus in terms of gold, 20 CS up, nearly 3 kills up now, a whole tower up, over an item up as well.
Yeah, Frostbite just hasn't been able to punish the Senna quite enough. They tried, but I think Kuba just has been playing with his range so effectively. Semvet and Nacho couldn't get onto him at any point in the game so far, and yet it is so nice. Now, Frozen Tomb onto Nacho's Diagonal also shows up, and the Bard does use the Magical Journey through the wall, able to survive together with the Flash, so good movement there for the Bard to make sure he survives, but still a bit sloppy to have to use a Flash there. Although it will work out in the end, but yeah, 3k gold lead now for Atomic Squad. They are in control of this game, especially with the Senna.
Yeah, I think the Senna is going to be a real problem as this game goes on, if the game continues as it is. That being said, Billy is kind of caught out here.
Yeah, stunned up by the tongue from Gakino, who will secure the kill as well at the end. A good jump away from Diagonal from the Moonfall to secure. He doesn't get called out as well. Still, the fight kind of continuing in this jungle. As Frostbite eager to start a fight for themselves, but at the end, Atomic Squad wise to kite away without the help of their support. Although Techno might still be looking for a fight, Frostbite not quite looking for the Herald just yet. They didn't get enough kills to go for that, as it is actually are looking for the fight as well. Flash in the root onto Nacho, lands his Tempered Fate thrown down as both members are just going golden right there. As Nacho is still taken down, the Tempered Fate couldn't do the rest of Frostbite doesn't actually show up at all, as the wave will be secured. Bobo still wants to just run forward to take down the third. Semvet now in trouble. Root lands onto Gekno. Semvet can't get away from the Ragnarok top. Olaf Dawning Shadow to secure the kill on the ADC. And Atomic Squad are just playing with so much confidence. The Bobo will just run forward.
Yeah, really showing the strength of these Senna buffs. I feel like the Senna is so long range already. It just means it's so difficult for Frostbite to really go on top of them, and with the Olaf and the Xin Zhao and the Taric just being able to run forward and like supplying damage from the Senna Qs and healing for the team, they're just empowered this entire time, and Olaf having any sort of empowerment just makes him terrifying, really.
Yes, now the soul point also secured for Atomic Squad, so a lot of pressure being just there for Frostbite now. It will be called out by Sunlight, who using the last breath there to secure the kill. And I think he's been having a good game, but just gets caught out. Has been getting caught out a little bit, just been overstepping, giving Frostbite a bit of a way back into this game. But for the rest, Atomic Squad still have the gold lead, definitely also almost on that soul point. So just Atomic Squad in control of this game as Sunlight secures the top third.
Yeah, nice skill there for Sunlight. This Olaf is just naturally going to be pushing a lot constantly, so but it's good from Frostbite to recognize that and look for a permanent push, as XTO maybe caught out by Gekno here.
Yeah, gets slowed up. Let's use a Frozen Tomb, as the rest of his team actually will be joining him very, very soon. And yeah, Gekno, I think, realizes that there's no way out anymore, has gone a bit too far, not enough vision of the enemy team, so can just be taken down with eases. Yeah, it's just a bit sad of a moment there, but at the end it is just another kill going over, and not a lot being there to take just yet.
Yeah, they do manage to shove the mid wave in, and I think it looks like they're going to get the Herald here, but I don't think this Herald is too important at this point in the game, as Nacho, I think he walks out of this perfectly fine.
Yeah, Techno does do quite some damage. Another way to become lightning actually lands, but at the end I think Nacho with the third there wasn't in too much trouble, because with the Tempered Fate as well can just do a lot. It's actually Barbarian Session going in here. We do have to teleport in from X0 to try and secure that top tier 1. In the meantime, Nacho lands another stun. Actually throws out the Chain of Corruption as well, Sam Vet, but it will just run out. Second out, jumping right on top of him. Barbarian Sunshine does show up, but will it be enough to get rid of the Sinzao? It won't be, as Barbarian Sunshine only now is there. Cosmic Radiance will make sure Takano doesn't take as much damage, but it will still be taken down. So Barbarian Sunshine is able to get 1 kill. Now Frostbite perhaps looking for a bit more of a fight, although it's only a 4v4. Tekno is quite a big damage dealer. Tekno still wants to go forward onto the NPCs, blocking their Heartsteel stack. No Moonfall, there is Moonfall Lost Breath though, is up, so Barbarian Sunshine and Tempest perhaps looking for the kill, but Tempest actually is like using the Herald in the middle of the fight, a bit messy as it is a 3-4 man knockup. Barbarian Sunshine taken down before it can actually proc. Now Lost Breath in from Sunlight, but why are you still going in? As Frostbite, they just couldn't string together their play. And they had 4 members, but at the end they just kind of are so messy.
Yeah, it's looking quite rough here, I think, for Frostbite at the minute. They Gekno goes in, goes forward, tries to get something to happen, but he goes forward and he just can't move. He's stuck still for most of the fight. His entire HP bar is gone before he can even right click anywhere to move. Just the chain CC is too strong between the Senna W, the Taric stuns, the everything from Lissandra. And it's really making it difficult for the like front line of Frostbite to really like get anything done. And because of that, the back line of Atomic Squad, being the center, is just untouched the whole time, and they're so far ahead of this Varus that they're always going to be able to kill faster. And this whole time they're stacking up more and more as these fights go on. And it's unfortunate. Bipolar Sunshine gets a huge 4-man Moonlight Vigil, and Sunlight just not quite quick enough on the R button, but I don't think it would have mattered anyway. The exhaust went through, so I think it's really difficult right now for Frostbite to really try and look and get ahead of here.
Yeah, I think at this point Frostbite just need to look for a bit of a mental reset. Maybe just one fight goes their way to then lose the game, because it will just be so difficult to come back from this point. It is a 4.5k gold. It isn't even the biggest of their problems. It's just they have a stacking Senna who has not actually died yet. It's the sole point being almost there, so just so much going the way of Atomic Squad besides, and then they had the Herald but completely had it run into the walls. I think Sunlight might have had a bit of a misclick wanting to run for it but instead hitting the Rift Herald. So
yeah, I think
yeah,
we're going to look to maybe get a sweep in a bush or something there, and he just completely forgot he had the Herald button, because I don't think it would have timed out as soon as that. Maybe it was. Maybe I'm misjudging, but the random Herald in the middle of the fight was not optimal, I would say.
No, as it will now be, the pulse will be over. I think there were some more mouse issues for the ADC, which was also the case at the start of the previous game. But with the pulse being stopped, Atomic Squad now decide to go for the Zatakan, and we have to wait for a little bit longer.
Yep, the pause after the pause. Happens every time. Spectator bug. And we're back.
Yeah, so this Zatakan will be going down, and Frostbite is nowhere really to contest. So this will just be another prey on Atomic Squad's system.
Yeah, this Atacon is it's so significant. I feel like now the Atacon buffing is so strong on this patch. I mean, I guess this whole split, assuming it won't be touched too much. And I really feel like it's going to be it's so difficult, I think, for Frostbite to go forward, because it feels like at least one of them is going to die in these fights, and the AoE damage from the Atacon just makes it so that chaining kill after kill after kill in team fights is so much easier now.
Yeah, that is also something that Lissandra really likes to do. But don't actually want to go for that mid lane tier 1. Instead, just perhaps try to look for the vision in this jungle, making sure that they have a fighting chance for this dragon. Because I definitely think that if this dragon goes down, it will just be over. It is already a really tough game for them to come back from. But once you lose out on the soul, especially with just Uba being able to broadcast from such an incredible distance, it will just be so insanely difficult for them to fight back, as they do set of vision, but will kind of leave the area very soon after. So the vision will most likely just be swept away.
Yeah, Atomic Squad are doing a very good job here of setting up for Baron. I don't really feel like Frostbite can realistically walk into this space particularly easily, although Targano is going for a reset here. He maybe has the Stride Breaker in base. As Kuba maybe caught out. Good.
Yeah, does that step the tongue lash nicely to make sure he doesn't get slowed up. As now Gekno, the one is engaged on Bobo in the meantime, fighting with Vaporeon Sunshine using the Ragnarok as the rest of Frostbite does show up, but it is the Cosmic Radiance. It is still Bobo taken down before it can actually proc, as it is one kill, but now Vaporeon Sunshine is actually to be called out. Stuns is going down in the middle of the team for Frostbite Sunlight. Next one will be taken down. Semvet, Gekno, Joe trying to run away, but Kuba has the move speed, lends the route. Good tempered fate, but he will still be taken down by XDR. Semvet is the only one that really survives. Gekno gets stunned up once again, slowed up, stuck down, can't do anything. Kuba just securing the kill across the wall, and Frostbite looks for the engage, but Kuba just nice sidestep to make sure he doesn't get caught out.
Yeah, fancy feet from Kuba there. I really thought he was overstepping and caught out, but I guess he proved me wrong. He's very confident stepping forward to avoid the Tom Kench knock up there. Yeah, and giving himself enough time for his team to arrive at the fight, and then it just Dunzo, even with Bobo going down at the start of the fight, it just means that there's not enough damage on Frostbite right now to peel through multiple people on this team right now, and then the Hextech going over is insanely huge. I don't know how they play into this Senan at this point now.
Yeah, I think it will just be a very tough game. Frostbite might just need to call this one and try to essentially reset their mental for the next game, make sure that they will go into the final game of this best of 3 fresh, ready to go. As right now it is just looking real rough for Frostbite. Atomic Squad just have everything they want at this point. I think they got pretty much everything they could want. The only thing that are missing in this game was a Rift Herald and a single Void Crop, but those are not really the things that you're going to be too sad about in the long run. As Bobo in the meantime jumping out of the bush onto Sunlight, doing the damage. The shield does not do nearly enough. Bobo can just cleanly secure the kill. Now the rest of Frostbite also in trouble underneath this turret as Techno lends them into become lightning, goes in underneath the turret, doesn't care that there's a turret sitting there. The Moonfall is solid, but by Water Sunshine, you will still be going golden in the middle of the fight. Techno now with the Cosmic Radiance will be saved. Devour is there for Water Sunshine, so he will be saved at the end, but Gixir still going for it. Wants to secure the kill, goes golden, so Frostbite still alive, but it's the death just being delayed. But Water Sunshine has to run away. Nasho now in trouble, has to flash away from the auto attack from the Senna. Kuba just able to take him down from such long range, and it's Frostbite just losing everything and nothing they can do about it.
Yeah, I think we're just seeing the wallet diff right there. Just Frostbite, they're under tower. They keep them under tower for such a long time, and they just don't have the damage to finish anyone off through the Taric in the center healing. As they maybe look for a chase here.
Yes, Sunlight has respawned in the meantime. Bobo still going forward, but Water Sunshine just gets blown up. Exhaust also going down, but Sunlight can't even use his own ultimate. Not shows the next one taken down. Gekno surrounded by 5 and Semvet. He couldn't even really join the fight, as now he's looking at 5. Atomic Squad looking for the finish. They don't have a wave, but they don't care. They have the damage. They have such a gigantic advantage. Semvet is looking for something, but just gets slowed up by the Hextech Soul, blown up by the members of the Atomic Squad, as they just throw out a dominant game 2.
Yeah, a 10-0 here for Kuba, really showing their strength on Senna there. Just really untouchable, it felt like, for a large portion of that game. And it was a tough game for Frostbite. I feel like I don't know, like their draft didn't feel as cohesive as what it maybe should have, and they just couldn't get the lead on the Diana and the Yasuo to really make the Diana Yasuo combo work in many of these fights.
Yeah, I just don't think they ever really got their comp to play the way their comp wants to play. So as a result, they couldn't really play the game. Now we are going towards a small break again. Hopefully, we will be invited to draft this time around, so we can actually witness everything. But we will be back in a couple of minutes. So don't go anywhere.
This love is ill. I wish that it was different. Don't know what it is that made us so indifferent. We're drifting in the dark. Can we do better? Wish I could rewind back to the start. Can we do better than this? Better. You got me high, then drop me low. You got something I can seem to let go. Can we do better? Can we do better? We do better. Can we start over? We got better. Can we do better? We do better. Can we start over? Can we do better? Can we do better? We do better. Can we start over? We got better. Can we do better? We do better.
And welcome back for Game 3 of Frostbite Chaos versus Atomic Squad. We've been having two good games, but right now we are looking for the final ones. Ellwood is still joining me. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, so for the Game 2, what were your main takeaways?
I think it was that. I think they need bipolar on something a bit more bruisery than this Diana. Diana really needs to be able to generate herself a lead. And I felt like with at least it wasn't favored matchups top and mid. I think that made it very difficult for the Diana to really keep pressure on the map as Tegeno really invaded her early. It put them behind, picked up another kill on them at their blue buff, and it's really put Bipolar behind by a significant amount, and it made it really seem like he struggled to get back into the game. And
Yeah.
it influenced the map a lot. Like there was almost no jungle influence. It felt like in the bot lane, but like one gank where Taric died, which is a little bit whatever for the bot lane. Like the center never really got pushed out of lane or pushed behind by a significant amount ever.
Yeah, yeah. I also just think that Frostbite, they were too far behind by the time their comp really got to play how they wanted. And I just think that Kuba just had such a clean game, was able to just sidestep so many engages. He didn't really ever get called out. Now we are in draft for the final game. Nocturne and Mudo have already been men away from Atomic Squad, and both Frostbite Chaos are taking once again the Hui and the Zillion as Vi is the final man. So Frostbite Chaos really need to look for a pick for a power session.
Yeah, 2 more powerful junglers plus Gekno's probably most comfortable champion top lane. Being targeted away there. Not the squad looking. Udit pick is very interesting. I feel like there's still a couple of junglers up that I feel like are relatively strong no matter now. Things like Jarvan is still up. I think Jarvan's probably
Yeah.
the best jungler right now, but the Udit is a bit interesting. A bit more of a comfort pick, I would assume from Atomic Squad.
Yeah, was also picked up by Atomic Squad last week by Tagano, so does seem just be some comfort for the side of Atomic, perhaps. So yeah, the Udyr is a proven entity. I think they won the game. They had it last week. I believe so. So it is a good pick. This Kai'Sa being picked up by Frostbite already shows quite some aggression, and perhaps the Jarvan will be picked into will be into it. So Frostbite, Jarvan, of course, wanting someone who can not move as much, and Udyr doesn't really have any movement to get away from his flag right.
Yep. The Kai'Sa is interesting to me. Varus is out, which is probably the main lane bully. So the laning phase for Kai'Sa probably isn't going to be able to be as punished as much. I think only Caitlyn is really up now as we see Corki locked in. Bit of a flex between ADC and mid. But I would
Yeah.
kind of guess they would be towards AD. It's a bit more of a lane bully champ, which is good into the Kai'Sa. And the J4 being picked up as well, which in isolation I think is good versus Uday. Just ult on top of him and he can't go anywhere. So his high move speed suffers quite a lot.
Yeah, Atomic Squad right now really pulling out a very, very similar comp as we saw last week in game 2. Will actually, this Vex is a different pick, so they will alter the from that a little bit. But the Vex already being picked up does kind of seek to punish any type of dive comp that Frostbite can really throw out there. As of course, it is a champion that wants to punish those dashes, and against the Jarvan and the Kai'Sa, that's already 2 champions that is going to be very, very useful against also the Corki. It's something that we did see a really good performance from Kuba on last game, last week. So I think it will be really important for Frostbite to really punish the Corki as much as the Vladimir being picked up is a bit of a flex.
It's a bit of a flex. I would expect it to be for Endeavor. I don't think it's a very Gekno champion. Unless he's put practice in it in secret. But I think the Vex is an interesting pick to pick blind. I think Vex suffers quite a lot into typical mages because she's relatively short range outside of like a max range Q, but that's unlikely to be able to be hit consistently. But I think the Vlad is probably an isolation pick into the Vex. And it's pretty good with the Jarvan as well. You just put the pool, the Vlad ult on top of the Jarvan ult, and then everyone in there is core, and it's a free E, it's a free Q onto every single person in there. As we see, a top lane target bans out, Nasus, Sion, Ornn all banned out. A lot of these are beefier top laners.
Yeah, I really wanted to take those tanks away from Gekno as much as possible for the Simon of Atomic Squad. Also, the Nautilus being taken away is talking about, of course, that game 2 from last week. It was the support that they picked together with the Corki at the time. So, yeah, it's just perhaps a strong pick, especially if you want to pick up this Alistar, which does look like they will be going for at the end. So, wanting to take something else that they can dive with, of course, when jumping in together with the Jarvan can just be such a gigantic CC chain. So Frostbite really wanting to go for more of a CC heavy, wombo combo heavy team from last game. But I do think they have a bit more of extended potential compared to the first game.
Yeah, the Atlas coming through is a bit interesting. I feel like Atomic Squad could have gone something like a Karma and it would have been a pretty dunzo bot lane, but they got the Maokai, which is a bit of a decent counter into the Alistar. If the Alistar ever goes in, the Maokai just presses W on him and the Alistar can no longer escape. Makes it for a relatively easy kill, I feel like, and it leaves counter pick open for Gekno in the top lane. Which I'd be interested to see what he goes for here as the Red Nectin is locked in for Atomic Squad.
Yeah, just I think Renekton's Spoiled Blind pick just also just a very, very strong early game pick. Can do a lot against all the champions so far, but really need to see what they want against this. I do think that in the damage department they are fairly set, but because the Mordekaiser wouldn't necessarily be bad. As I do think that the damage heavy comps have been working a lot better in these previous 2 games. As it just has been a scrap a lot. And yes, this will be the Mordekaiser. So Frostbite taking another champion that is quite good in isolation. overall, I do think that this Mordekaiser it doesn't fit as nicely with the rest, but can just be really strong as he might just be able to walk up to the Corki and abduct him into the death realm.
Yeah, I feel like this is a Gekno special outfit. He's very comfortable in the Mordekaiser. So I feel like he's probably very well versed in this top lane matchup. Although I think on paper is a little bit Renekton favored. The Renekton can break the Mord shield with the W, with the empowered W. Oh, excuse
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, that will be. I think. I mean, of course, if Gagno uses it well and makes sure that the W is off cooldown by the time he uses his own W, there are definitely ways around that. Renekton W, but it will be quite a strong combo unless Gagno just instantly uses it to heal himself back up. So I think Gagno, if he's smart with it, quick with it, can definitely get around the problem with the Renekton, but Renekton might just be able to completely shred through that massive shield he can get. Although maybe he doesn't even need to use it and can just burn down the Renekton before any fight really starts. And I think Atomic Squad, I find it a bit of a mess. I think there's a lot of champions that kind of I don't know. I don't see as much, so I find it quite difficult to judge, especially things like the Udyr, the Vex, the Renekton. You have a lot of sort of single target damage, but I'm not sure how they're actually going to perform in the larger team fights when it's just going to be multiple members of Frostbite sticking together and whether they really have the AoE to deal with this Frostbite comp.
Yeah, I think I agree. It's gonna be difficult. I don't know who really deals with some of these champions in the late game. Like the J4 cage is getting pretty insane value here. Like yes, Corki can W out, and yes, the Renekton can E out, but Udyr can be caught in, Vex can be caught in, Maokai can be caught in. They have like alternative ways, I'm gonna put it, to get out of the cage, but they're not reliable engages or ways of escaping it. And I feel like Atomic Squad don't have particularly strong lane assignments here, in my opinion. I don't know if I don't feel like Corki Maokai particularly wins into the Kai'Sa Alistair too hard. I'd have liked to see, but maybe more of an enchant on bot lane, maybe a Karma or something along those lines to really push them in under tower for more of the game.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm not sure what how Billy DMC exactly works on the more enchanter style champions. I think right now he does mostly seem to play these melee supports, even if they are perhaps the more Vanguard type champions. So um, yeah, I think I do see he did play Lux last week, but it was not a particularly good performance at the time. So just wants to stay. Of course, the Maokai does give them quite a nice, I think, engage and also disengage with the ultimate. Because for the rest, they just don't have a lot of it once again. Sort of the Corki, of course, doesn't do much. And like at the end, they might just start fights by either the Udyr slapping someone with a stun or the Maokai landing a W onto someone. But for the rest, this Vex and the Corki both don't really have any engage. And for the rest, they mostly have single target. So I do think that Frostbite just have easier ways to start a fight with the Cataclysm.
They do, yes, but the Maokai ult is still a very easy free engage, and I think the positive for Frostbite is that they have a lot of people that can tank this. Maokai ult, Kai'Sa can quite easily run behind the Alistair, who can break it with his ult. Mord, I don't think really cares about it. J4, as the later the game goes, won't really care too much. Vlad can just pull through it, so he really won't care. So I think it'll
Yeah,
be interesting to see
yeah.
how some of these fights start.
I'm never sure about the Maokai engage because I think it can work. But very often I think it's so slow, especially at the start of a fight, that in a lot of cases the other enemy team can just make sure that only one person tanks it. And yeah, especially if it's the Alistar, he can just cleanse it with the ultimate if he wants to. Of course, it's not the most ideal use for the ultimate, but if you jump in right after, then I do think that Frostbite have a lot of ways to go around the the Maokai ult. So it's definitely not the worst, but there could definitely be better engaged, I think. Although, yeah,
With Phyllis
it's
being up,
definitely
I
not.
don't know if there are through support, to be honest. Like, I think only Rel would be the next thing. Like, Leona is out, Nort banned, Alistair gone, Braum
Yeah,
gone. Like, I feel like Fearless here is really pinching uh some of these like champ pools and what these roles really want to do for this one. And Maokai
yeah,
kind of becomes S tier once you remove those better options. I feel like, but I think the Maokai ult is more about like forcing the enemy team to concede space as opposed to like real engage. I feel like. I feel like the flash W is more likely to be how Maokai truly starts fights, like reliably, just flash W on Kaiser's head or on Vlad's head maybe. But I feel like if he does that as support Maokai, he's gonna die pretty fast into this team comp, but we shall see.
Yeah, I mean, Frostbite 2 just have so much damage at their disposal, and sort of, yeah, the others are really the only one who doesn't have it. And on the other side, there is actually quite a lot of damage because the Udyr, depending on the build, will hurt quite a lot. But especially, I think the Vex and the Renekton are much more burst heavy, whereas I think the Vladimir and the Mordekaiser can do a lot more in the extended fights. With of course the Mordekaiser passive and the Vlad just constantly healing himself back up and throwing the E, using the pool to make sure he doesn't take too much damage for himself. So I think for Frostbite, if they don't sort of just fall so far behind that they just get absolutely popped in these fights, I think that they can just eventually start healing and shielding and sustaining through so much of the damage, and then at a certain point there won't be any damage left for Atomic Squad, and they can just come back in the fight and sort of win it, even if they don't have the health bars that it seems like they can. So I think that Frostbite, their most important thing will just be not to fall far behind and get any advantage they can, and then just try to play well throughout the team fights, which I think they have been doing quite well, especially in the first game.
I agree. I think Sam playing being kept safe is top priority, as I feel like he is by far and away the biggest damage dealer on this in this team comp. Like yes, Vlad will scale into being that, but until he's like 2, maybe 3 items, Vlad isn't exactly carrying team fights by himself. So I feel like Sam being kept safe and being kept in a way that will kept relevant in the game will be really important throughout this game. As we do get a pause instantly.
Yeah, once again, I think there have been some problems. There's just some water has been spilled, so we'll just wait for a second longer here, which hopefully will be fine. But yeah, it will be interesting because I think, of course, if we look at the previous game, then those Thomas squads simply have the sort of momentum advantage. And I do think that if they're sort of, if we see a similar game to what we saw last time around, then I do think that Frostbite's comp doesn't really have what it takes to deal with it. Because I think if they fall behind, then like Xdior and Bobo can just blow up any member they want pretty much, and then together with Kuba, who can just also do so much on this Corki, Frostbite is just can't. I think we'll see a very similar situation to what we saw last game, where they just can't start a fight because they just don't have the health to ever really jump in. Because once again, it is really their engage will be either by border session or 3 Nacho, just going in with their own body, and if they're gonna get one shot, then yeah, it's not the greatest engage. So it's definitely the over. Then, but yeah, I think if they can get the advantage like we saw last game, then I think they should just be able to run away with it again.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I do wonder how much damage this Vex can really do in a lot of these fights. Like I feel like Vex is either one of those champs where she's insta nuking entire health bars or is turbo useless.
Yeah.
And I'm not entirely sure how the Vex is gonna be able to get too far ahead or get to that one shot point into this team comp. Because there's like a lot of naturally very large health bars. Like Alistair will naturally be tanky. Vlad will have a lot of HP. Same thing with Jarvan and Mordekaiser. They're all naturally very tanky.
Yes, as we are going for the brawls of the bosses, I will really quickly ask for production to make sure that the portraits on Atomic Squads are the right way around, as they decided not to set up in the right way. But one thing I do quickly wanted to note, and want to ask your opinion about, is that Techno actually picked up the Unsealed Spellbook, which I think is the first time I ever saw it in at least 5v5 coordinated play. What is your thought on the Unsealed Spellbook?
Yeah, I also noticed that it's interesting. Honestly, I feel like maybe he's not like I'm trying to think of what does Uday usually run. I think it's either Conqueror or Phase Rush. So maybe he's just not valuing the Conqueror as much as
Yeah.
but it would make him, in theory, a little bit stronger potentially in some of these fights, because like there'll be fights where he maybe has exhaust or ignite, and it's just gonna be like stronger in these 1v1s against bipolar. Or if he can get onto Sam and he has exhaust on Sam, then it's a lot easier to kill him. But so
Yeah.
maybe a bit of a surprise factor here for the unsealed spellbook.
Yeah, we will see. Definitely. I do also see that maybe they were the wrong runes. But we'll see how it works out in this game. But yeah, for now, not much happening. Skegno is able to land an early pulverize on Bobo, but doesn't actually go much further as Golden Meek is also there for them.
Yeah, a whole lot of nothing happening early, just 5-pointing, both Chungas pathing top to bot. Pretty standard stuff here. Let's see. Deal gets a nice little trade on Sunlight, but he'll just be able to sustain that up with the Q.
One of the frustrating things, of course, about the Vladimir would just be that he can sort of trade back any trade you really do by just pressing Q slowly on whatever target is available at the moment. And Nacho actually does go for it, takes quite some damage there as Kuba with that E can just do so much damage, and quite a bad trade for Nacho already in this early game. Will be a bit scary to deal with, as it will mean that the cow is quite a bit lower and doesn't have as much ease going in.
This is a kind of a tax you pay as Alistair. Your level 1 is a little bit useless, and all you can really do is headbutt the enemy COA. But Billy NPC doing good to keep bush control there, so he actually managed to get another Q on, which meant Nacho had to take a longer trade. As Bobo takes a tower shot in the top lane, and he's maybe on kill threat here.
Yeah, as Gekno actually proccing the Conqueror there with its own passive, and Bobo at the end too far out of range to really do anything. For Gekno, but nice pull there to get the proc underneath the third. Bobo will now start healing up. Actually hits level 3, Gekno in trouble, has to flash away, still gets stunned up in the end, but he will survive, so will be able to walk away. But Gekno still kind of losing the good trade he had there earlier, with perhaps just Bobo being a bit aggressive.
Yeah, Gekno maybe misjudging the level up timer there a little bit, as Bobo hits 3, and he is running this PTA Renekton, which is so strong early. Like, you proc it almost instantly with the W. Empowered W does proc it instantly, and it's so much damage on the W. It's like an easily like 300-400 damage, I think, at rank 1. It's an insane amount of damage to put through.
Yeah, it's just easy, very quick trade, and right now, Summox Squad really getting the advantage in nearly every single lane. CS advantages are also there, so right now it is just as Nacho going in. Barbaro Session is right there. Root goes in onto Sanvet. It's still the flash away from Kuba, but Billy MC is caught out instead. Flash away, but flash in from Sanvet to secure the kill. Good gank there by Barbaro Session to secure the first kill in the game.
Yeah, really huge to get Sam that kill. It really relieves him a lot against this Corki matchup that is Corki favored in lane at least. And now he doesn't have to worry about the fact that he's like maybe 5 CS down, he's a wave a little bit behind, because this kill just gives him so much more gold for it. And now the Corki is a little bit stack checked as he's comboed.
Flash in from Nacho. Nacho taking a third shot. Kuba will die in the end, so still Samvet securing the kill will deny all of this farm from the Corki, so I think it will be worth it in the end, but something from Nacho, still a nice play from the other stuff.
Yeah, it's a great play by Nacho, really. As Billy NPC takes a lot of damage holding this wave, honestly. Like, he has to reset now. I actually don't know if this was a totally worth it, maybe?
Yeah.
Like, maybe he can sustain up with the passive, but
yeah,
I'm trying to push it in. Has killed his own tempo a little bit here.
Ooh, Sunlight actually having to flash away there, being ignited, doesn't give him as much. Flash in from Dior, doesn't do enough though, as the Q was just in time, and now Dior in trouble. Sunlight tries to get away, the Q doesn't land, the E doesn't land, and Dior can't get anything. Sunlight, don't walk up there, that's single auto attack. Bipolar has that kill.
With fire.
As at the end he does get the kill, Frostbite managing to get 3 kills in his early game, punishing the early aggression from Atomic Squad nicely, and yeah, the gold lead isn't really theirs, but just good confidence already from Frostbite coming out.
Yeah, great timers there from the Frostbite support and jungle, just to get a punish on us. They're going to find Cuba now as well.
Yeah, Kuba in trouble, doesn't have that flash anymore. The Valkyrie doesn't seem to do enough, or maybe he just didn't have it up as well. Kuba gets caught out again, and Frostbite, really good target prioritization. So how strong Kuba has been, how big of a threat he is, and take him down in this bot lane once again. And the Corki is now in a lot of trouble, although he still has the farm.
Yeah, it's I think we're seeing here why Bobo the Sunshine is targeted out so hard in his jungle, and it just ends up not mattering all that much. He's so good at some of these jungles. We're getting a 3v3 here.
Yeah, actually, Sunlight not yet there. As stun lands onto Sam Vet, just blown up, and rest of Frostbite now having to run away. Another Shadow Surge goes forward as Vaporization Session kind of over recognizing he is that will secure the dragon, so decides to just trade his own life. Shadow Surge also lands at the Nacho though, who stuck around for just a bit too long. Will pulverize headbutt Dior away, but it's not enough as 3 kills go over to the Vex. And Frostbite just without Sunlight there, a bit too aggressive on the fight. Stay around a bit too long.
Yeah, Sam getting caught out there was really big. That's a lot of gold that's just shut down as XDR still has the ult up and is going in on Sunlight.
Yeah, it's now actually Semped also in trouble in between the turrets. Dagno chasing after the ADC. No flash up for the Kai'Sa, but the turret is there to protect him at least. But still, it's Frostbite. They were looking so good, but now they're suddenly losing so much. Gagno also in trouble in this topside. Doesn't take the fall to the Cold Meek. But Barbaro Sunshine now trying to patch as many wounds as he can. Here to punish Bobo at least. Will land the knock up, no Cataclysm just yet. Gagno walking forward a bit, but needs to watch out that he doesn't just get engaged upon. Flash in from Bobo secures the kill! And Gagno, no reason to go forward there. Bobo now accepting, yep, I have fallen, but he will be taking the other top laner with him. So much farm going lost. As now the squad 1.5k gold lead, even though they don't even have the kill lead.
Yeah, it's a huge kill, honestly, there for Bobo. Like, he denies even more farm. He's 30 CS up in 7 minutes as Nacho's going to face check into Kuba and Billy here.
Yeah, Kuba doesn't have a lot of health though. Semvet doesn't have the ult either, so can't jump in at least. Root goes in onto Semvet. A lot of damage going down, but Nacho still managing to just 1v1 Kuba as much as he can, but is Semvet actually getting the kill? Kuba doesn't land the damage as Semvet is at least able to get that 2v2. It's on a knife edge in the bot lane. Nacho need to watch out with those minions, but will survive. And the Frostbite bot lane at least getting something back. Actually, yours close though, as he has a Shadow Surge. Can just be an easy double kill if he lands it, but guesses is the wrong place as he goes for the push still. It is actually not showing something needing to watch out as it gets spotted out by the Vex. But yeah, it is Frostbite getting some kills back.
So well, I feel like really, like just the Corki could never push forward and get damage down, which meant it was kind of just 2v1v1s, and it just came down to which support is tankier. I feel like.
Yeah. It was what happened. I think had Semvet had the ultimate there, I think that fight would have looked a lot different. Kuba just couldn't really get those rockets down. I'm not actually sure why. Maybe he didn't quite have the mana there to go full that, but yeah, it is Frostbite clawing back a bit of that gold. Blue team do get the Void Corrupts as we do have XD are also taking a lot of this turret here, but the Power Session is right there. Nacho also showing up. Semvet now does have the level 6 flash in from Nacho. Teleport though is being channeled by Tagano. Win the Unsealed Spellbook, but it is XDR still being called out as now, yeah, he Tagano arrives in completely the wrong place. Knocked up by Nacho, secured by Semvet. As the Unsealed Spellbook play, it was beautiful, but it was so wrong.
He tried to make the most out of the what we are assuming is a incorrect rune choice, and it was, I mean, it nearly did something. Like, but all it ends up doing really is just dropping another kill over to Frostbite, and Sam is now so far ahead. He's 6-1. We've got a 3-1 Jarvan as well. I don't know how the Jarvan's ever going to really die in a lot of these fights now, as Bobo looks onto Gagno a lot more, as more fighting in the bot lane.
Yeah, but the NPC taking a lot of damage. Nacho also, the pulse quite low though, as Kuba and X0 show up. Tagano also has respawned, as now Semvet needs to try and run away. Does land the killer, the W onto one, as Viper Session tries to jump out. Isn't enough. Frostbite called out in the jungle, too aggressive, too far up. And now it is Atomic Squad once again just taking something back, taking the advantage back in this game. It's so bloody, but it's so back and forth.
Yeah, overstaying there again by Frostbite. I don't think they expected 4 people to turn back up. I think they assumed someone would collect the mid wave, and Atomic Squad just said we don't care about the mid wave. We want to take back this pressure away from our bot lane, and they do really well there to get the kill onto Sam and onto Sunshine as well.
Yes, I mean, at the end, Sam was able to secure the kill. A flash away from DR, so Sunlight now ghosting forward. Wants to try to secure this. Almost gets that Q back up. Flash in to secure it. Stegano is right there. Some third shots do land on the Sunlight as the ghost is still running. And with Gegno also shadowing closes. Now Sunlight is kind of in the wrong place. Stegano trying to find him, but he doesn't expect him in the wolves. Will he cancel him? Just in time as Sunlight now in trouble. Does have the pull to try and get away, but Stegano has more move speed than the Vladimir. Securing that kill. It was almost a 3000 IQ play, but it wasn't quite enough. As now Gegno actually fighting with Bobo in the death realm, but at the end, neither member will follow. Stegano also once again starting the fight with Bipolar Sunshine. Both members actually 3 kills apiece, both having a single item. Actually, no, that isn't actually an item for Stegano just yet. He doesn't actually have those that the unit completed. As now Bipolar Sunshine has to run away. Xdior also close. Does have the Shadow Surge up. Nacho now trying to knock them away. Xdior lands the ult onto one. Now Sembet and Bipolar Sunshine are trying to run away. Xdior doesn't want to use the ultimate again. Still has it up though, so perhaps looking for it will throw it out. Actually lands it onto Bipolar Sunshine, but that's not somebody you really want to go on top of if he is underneath a turret. So at the end it will just be the Dragon secured for Atomic Squad and 1 kill onto Nacho.
Yeah, XDR, it feels like he's almost confused about which lane he's supposed to be playing. That's like the 4th time, I swear, that I've seen him as Kuba.
Kuba in trouble though. Cataclysm thrown out. Killer Instinct is there, but Billy DMC tries to get the damage onto Sam Vet. Teganol also shows up. No flash is there for the jungler though, so instead he just decides to go onto the Bipolar Sunshine flash. Smite does not do enough as Teganol finally secures that kill. Sam Vet in trouble. Exhaust will make sure he gets that final kill. Nacho now in trouble once again as Xdior shows up. Will the support fall for the 2nd time within a minute? No, the turret is there to protect him, but Atomic Squad getting so many kills in that bot side. Only Kuba was bowling on their side.
Yeah, XDL with these roams, like he's walking straight out of the fountain, just straight into bot lane. Like he's just forcing fights in this bot lane, and it's working out really well, honestly, for Atomic Squad, because Sunlight, sorry, just isn't able to match on these roam timings because he hasn't got quite the same pushing power as he has on Vlad as the Vex does. As Boba actually collects the mid wave here and picks up the plate for himself.
Yes, it will not
And
be
power
the
goes
first
over as well.
third going over to the side of Atomic Sword, who are actually looking to secure those feats once again. I think they had them in the first 2 games as well, and now already with those 2 jungle camps being theirs as well, with only 1 going off the frost. But there's Nacho actually fighting a bit with Bobo, not expecting to be in too much trouble from the top laner as Sam Vet and Sunlight are close. Billiam and Kuba also showing up. We'll make sure that at the end both sides just don't decide to go any further, don't want to overstep in the mid lane. And yeah, Atomic Squad still, once again, they don't have any gold lead, but they have kill lead, but they have a 2000 gold lead in this game just off of these plays, of the bot third going down first. And it's just that they seem to be able to do so much more with the kills that they have. As I mean, we just see such a massive farm lead in both the top side and in the bot lane.
Yeah, I feel like honestly, I don't know. I think Frostbite are actually kind of okay with how this game is going so far, because a lot of this is buying time for this Mordekaiser and for this Vlad to just become a lot stronger than what they are now. They like had to concede a lot early and minimize what they lost. I think they've done a pretty good job at it. Yes, Gegno is close to 60 CS down now in top lane, but the trades from him aren't too bad as Bipolar Sunshine engages on.
Yeah, using the Cataclysm flag and drag out will knock up 2. So in the meantime, Gegno and Bobo are fighting, though. Flash away from Bobo is beautiful, though, to get away from the Obliterate, making sure he doesn't fall. As now Gegno is the one I think who needs to watch out. As yeah, he has a lot of shields stacked up, but Bobo doesn't really care for that as long as he has his W up. So at the end, Gegno is the one who eventually runs away. And across the map, a lot of fights, they're starting, but they're not actually finishing, as both sides who just aren't quite able to get the other team down.
Yeah, I think we see in the top lane there, like, exactly what I was saying about how Chaos just want a little bit more time just to scale this Mordekaiser and this Vlad. Gegno is 60 CS down, no item completed. Meanwhile, Renekton is so far ahead with the full item completed, and Gegno's trading even with him.
Yeah, flash away from Gegno though, away from Bobo. Bipolar Sunshine is here, but Bobo, can he secure the kill? Oh, Gegno! A sliver of health saves him as he's able to just live with absolutely nothing. But it is Bobo who's the one caught out at the end, as Gegno counting his lucky stars. But will at the end make sure the kill is secured there for Frostbite. With his Herald now also being up, it will mean that Frostbite are able to get yet another jungle camp, although Tekano and Kuba and Buddy the NPC are showing up very, very close. they might be looking for the fight. That brought in from Gekno as he senses the fight coming, but with that going down, Atomic Squad have decided that it is at least one extra cooldown burned as they back away.
Yep. Frostbite there just secure the Herald very safely, like making sure just they don't mind about using the TP for Gekno off that. Like it just gives them basically a guaranteed tower at some point in the next 2 to 3 minutes, if they want it. So it'd be interesting to see how they use it as we end up in another pause.
Yes, as we have to just wait for a little bit. It seems so maybe it shouldn't be too long, but it does give us time to breathe. As 25 kills within the first 15 minutes is very, very bloody for this game. As I think so far we haven't had it be as aggressive yet. But what team do you think do you favor more right now?
Honestly, I think I favor Frostbite a lot more right now. Like I feel like they scale significantly harder than Atomic Squad do, and the fact they are 1500 gold behind, but they're basically evening kills. Sam has 8 kills on him right now, and like they haven't really Atomic Squad haven't really managed to punish the Vlad or the Mordekaiser too heavily yet. Like both mid tower and top tower are still standing. They're still able to trade like relatively evenly in a lot of these fights, and it's only going to get better for these champs as the game goes on, it feels like. And the Kaiser, I feel like, outscales Corki significantly in a lot of these fights. As soon as Sam gets his Q evolve, which I believe he has the Q evolve now, but once he gets the E evolve, I think it's so much harder for Atomic Squad to catch him out in a lot of these situations.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think, of course, Atomic Squad, they have the gold lead, so if they can make something happen very, very soon with this gold lead, but I think it will just be a problem that after a while they can't quite burst through Sunlight and Gekno anymore, and at that point they really will just struggle with winning a lot of these fights because I think they can just send Gekno, Bipolar Sunshine, and Sunlight sort of, and Nacho just sort of forward, and then have Sam Vet jumping on any member that's kind of low in the back to secure the kill and sort of cap off the fight nicely. So I think Frostbite, of course, do look strong. And Atomic Squad, their goal lead, I think, just isn't quite big enough to really make them feel comfortable here. I think that they still have the advantage, and if they take a fight right now, then they probably will win. But it's not so far ahead that they can just make that they essentially can just wait and group up for any objective, because yeah, it's just that's what really is the is what they want to do. So yeah, Frostbite's still very much in this game, even though the gold lead is not in their favor. I especially think that next strike will be quite important, as neither team have actually picked up the feats of strength just yet. So both teams might be looking for that. And overall, I think Dragon stacking will be very important, as once again that Hextech Soul is the one that we are dealing with.
Yeah, I think Hextech Soul is going to be really significant in this game. Is again, like, it's so good on the Kaiser, it's great on the Vex just to end the Corki rockets as well, just to ensure that there's a lot more burst in these the burstier champions for these teams. But it's also even good for like Gekno in the top lane, like just being able to slow down this Renekton even more than what he'll be able to with the Rylai's, and make sure that he really can just stick on top of this Renekton for as much longer the fights go on.
Yeah, it will be tough, as we still have a pause. I think some market rejects are being thrown out, but we will just wait for a little bit longer, as we apologize for the pause coming through. Of course, this isn't as amazing, and yeah, we will just be waiting. Nothing is really up soon. I think that the dragon should be spawning at some point. I think it has been a while since we saw Atomic Squad take this, so I think it will be the first thing that will be there very, very soon, as indeed we are getting back into the game. As the dragon, yeah, only a minute away.
Yeah, this streak should be next objective, I think, for both teams. Even although Frostbite can probably just give it over in reality, I don't feel like they need to fight for this Drake. This Drake, it's only second Drake. It doesn't really mean anything in the grand scheme of the game. And just again, giving this Vlad time to get 1-2 items. Mord now has the Rylai, so I feel like he's maybe even stronger than this Renekton right now.
Yeah, guys, also has the Infinity Edge. Ooh, that back getting cancelled for Sunlight is quite frustrating there, because I expect that he has the first item gold at this point, so won't be able to pick that up for this fight. Might still want the back, doesn't actually have the TP, so has been running with the ghost this entire game. So might be a bit late, doesn't need to pick up that Cosmic Drive at the end, but it's still Frostbite who very much have the pressure in this bot jungle, as instead Bobo just decides to go for the top tier 1 So Atomic Cloud deciding that they don't actually want to take this fight or a bit later. Bobo, of course, does have the teleport up. Gekno doesn't have his left anymore, and Opponent's actually in the meantime getting a bit of an invade. Nacho also throwing out a bit of vision, and doesn't seem like the sweeper is up for now. It is the health thrown out ahead of the dragon, and in the meantime, though, in this top side, we do just have the Croc pushing, as he's able to, or was able to get a first turret, might be able to get a second turret here, so might be just getting so much gold for himself for this single dragon that Frostbite are taking, because Nacho Gekno is still sticking around for this. So a
They
lot
can
of
get
gold
this turret
being lost
too as well, it feels like.
on this top side, and yeah, Atomic Squad just able to get so much for a single dragon. For Frostbite don't want to go for the fight, just wants to get as much gold, and the goldie that was about 1.5k a second ago will be a lot larger now, but it is Atomic Squad being engaged upon. Bapon Sunshine goes for it. XDR, the first one called out. Nacho though is very, very low as he's met by Kuba on the other side of the wall. Still a 4v4 in this fight. Is now Sunlight called out a bit on the fight. Bobo though meets Gekno as he tries to run away. Low on the other side of the fight is Bipolar Sunshine taking quite some damage, but Kuba doesn't have the damage just yet. Blow through the Jarvan. Kuba using the Valkyrie to try and run away. Sunlight still flashing in, securing the kill onto Kuba. Now wants to also go further onto the NPC as Atomic Squad. They were able to get a lot of gold off of that dragon, but now will be losing a bit more with these kills.
Yeah, a little bit of an overstay there by by Atomic. They had burnt the Maokai ult previously trying to catch Bipolar Sunshine on their Herald use. And it feels like if they had that there in that fight, the fight never starts. Bipolar Sunshine wouldn't be able to get into the fight to get the ult down, and it would be a lot harder for them. But
Yes.
they do get a mid tier 1 and a tier 2 top lane.
They can now get engaged upon. I think Frostbite could have just gone for that play, as there weren't really any members. Oh, Atomic's gone close, but don't want to perhaps risk falling to Zegano, who I think has some items already picked up from himself. Orient, so items actually has the blunt of the gold, I think, for them, or at least has the blunt of the kills for Atomic Squad. So perhaps a bit scary. It's not just kind of just holding his wave here in the mid lane, but Frostbite, they goldie were able to return it back to 1.5k after losing a lot of it, and there's just a lot more standing goals for them on this map with the top tier 1 and bot tier 1 still being up. Sunlight is in trouble though in this bot side. Will use the Hemo Plague, but actually you're also showing up. Sunlight tries to find a way out of the fight, can't find it at all as Kuba secures that kill, so just getting called out in the alcove is a bit frustrating for him. And I think it might have actually been a shutdown. Yes. Oh, no, this is Atomic Squad 4 looking for a further fight. Bobo has the teleport if he needs to. As Sembet tries to get the damage down as the Shadow Surge actually lands onto the Kaisa though. In the middle of the fight as will be fleet up, will be taking a lot of damage. Not taken down just yet, as Killer Instinct will save himself for now as kicks the R go out. It is Sembet falling though in the middle of the fight as now it is Billy MPC will be taken down, but it's Bobo who's here to try and clean up the fight. Kuba is very, very low. Bipolar tries to run away, but you can't run away from the crocodile. Bobo securing that kill, and Atomic Squad managing to just win the fight off the pick on Sunlight.
Yeah, XDO, they're finding the ult through onto Sam on the Kaiser, and I feel like they changed the fight so much because, like, yeah, sure, he didn't kill him, he didn't quite manage to finish off the kill, but Sam got chunked out so low. He's got to ult away defensively. He can't really put out any damage. He's ended up dying, I think, just the smite of Tagano there, and it means that Tagano's gonna start up this Atakan here by himself, and I'm unsure if. I mean, they know now, but I don't know if Frostbite can get here on time. Maybe they can.
Yeah, but
Maybe they can look for some exit kills.
Proposition just has now respawned, and Frostbite, they are very much rushing towards it. XDR is in the flank. Gekno has the teleport up. It will be the W landing, but it is just the Atakan secured, so Atomic Squad managing to quickly rush down that objective. After that one fight, will be giving them another buff for these fights, so yeah, Atomic Squad now getting a lot more of what they need to actually start winning these fights. Bobo might be in trouble, will be stunned up here, but also landing the knock of Samvet, bursting down this crocodile as quickly as possible. Now Billy MBC, yeah, there's not much he can do there. Will be taken down as a result, and Frostbite managing to at least get a couple kills out of the Atakan being taken by Parmesan though. Walking into 3, will be feared up, will be burst down. Good flag and rack across the wall, but the burn from the ignite from XDR will secure the kill.
Yep, it's two moments of just trying to look for too much. I feel like they're Bobo on one side and Bipolar on the other. Like, take the small wins and I think reset your tempo, because Drake is up very soon, I think in the next 40 so seconds, and it's really gonna this one is sole point here for Frostbite, and I think this one, if this gets onto Frostbite, I really feel like they can accelerate the game by a lot.
Yes, but does take quite some damage. Nacho's here though as a beautiful bait. I think Kuba is able to use the weaponry to get away. Damage is still there. Oh, he's able to burst
God.
down the ADC! As Kuba just gets the kill, Nacho flashes in, does
Another
not do
one.
enough damage! Oh, and that's such a frustrating one for Frostbite. They had the catch, but Samvet was already chunked out before the fight started and they weren't quite able to burst down the ADC. As the Corki is just able to get the double kill in the bot lane by himself. As now this dragon will be pretty much uncontestable for Frostbite, still 2 members down. As now Atomic Squad, they have something they need, as the Corki being strong is very, very important, as that's their ticket to dealing with Gagno and Sunlight in the late game.
Yeah, we see there why Corki is a fair and balanced champion, as he presses Q auto on the enemy ADC, and they don't exist anymore. Just so much damage, like so fast out of this Corki. Is he Bobo or Gekno caught out? Someone's caught out here.
Yeah, well, they're fighting in the death round for now. As Gagno and Barboros Session would just meet in the overworld. Gagno does lose that fight though, as it's good 2-man knockup into Cataclysm, but Samvet called out in the jungle once again, secured by the rocket. As in the meantime, it is Frostbite winning the fight in the top jungle at least. So it will be, I think, a positive trade for Frostbite, as they are able to get 2 kills. But it is 1 kill as a result, as Samvet was just called out. And I think in that fight before, especially in the bot lane, it was also just Samvet didn't expect the damage himself, because he had both the barrier and the flash up, and instead of using one of them, I think he just didn't expect the Corki to burst down that heavily. As now Kuba just gets another kill, as it's just Billy the NPC secure the kill, and Kuba, the Corki just does so insanely much damage. And good knock away there by Billy the NPC to get rid of Bipolar Sunshine. And it's just this Corki is just a big problem. And last week, when this Corki was picked up, it was also a big problem, and it really was why Sonic Squad was able to win the game. And yeah, it's just Kuba is just such a big member, and right now it looks like they need him again to carry.
Yeah, we're seeing the 2 IM spike on Corki here. It's so insane how much damage it does. Like Sunlight there, he was like 60% HP, and it's auto Q auto, and he's just gone. Like, it doesn't really matter how much HP you have. It's too much. It's so much damage, and it's tough because I don't really know who can really face tank all of that damage here if they don't manage to like find the catch onto the Corki himself.
Yeah, I think it will be a bit problematic. Of course, I think Nacho's probably will be wrong. Why does he? Oh no! For a second, I thought he had the upgraded Berserker Screeds, but I think he has the upgraded Symbiotic Souls. So, just that. Yeah, I think that Kuba will be a bit difficult, but I think, of course, once they have the catch, they can burst that Kuba really effectively. So I think just for Frostbite, this entire game will be about, can they find the Corki before the Corki finds them, essentially. As it is actually Sunlight getting pulled out by Takano, does have a good amount of healing though. So Hemoplague is also thrown down onto the Udyr. Nacho also shows up, but Polar Sunshine is here, and Takano might have just been sticking around a bit too long. Kuba is very, very close. There's now Sampa jumping in with the Killer Instinct. Kuba is right there, but notices that there's too many members for him to one-tap. And tries to kite himself back. It is no Killer Instinct, and no, actually the Catalyst is still up, but it is no Hemoplague left for Sunlight. So Frostbite have lost some of those very, very nice tools, but the Baron is up. Atomic Squad looking for the fight. As Kuba might be pulled out. Teleport is here, as it is the stunt knockup. Oh, this cancel. The fair will stop the engagement. Now Cataclysm is still going forward, as Sandbit wants to try to get the damage down, but Kuba is able to survive through the original blunt. As now Bobo has showed up to try and force this fight. XDR getting the AoE damage down. Sandbit low, taken down. Frostbite taken down, and it's XDR just completely saving that play. Spearing away Nacho and Bipolar Sunshine from the original engage, forcing them to go back for a second one, saving Kuba's life, as they are able to just win the 3v5 there.
Yeah, it's a great flank by Nacho. Oh my god, not to Baron, please. That's 2 Baron double kill. How do we do this? Does Kuba die as well? Maybe not. Oh my god. It's not even worth it. There's no point. Nobody will have the Baron.
Yeah, will they actually finish it off?
Like, I don't
Nacho does show up here. They have the vision of it, and Takano still wants. He's tenacious. He wants to go for it.
Yes, the special, yes.
He has the spider. He secured at least the goal.
I don't even know if it's worth it. It's only on Udyr and Maokai.
Yeah, it's 2 Baron buffs. it's just so much tempo lost now as well, because Frostbite, they have the first move with this Baron, so they can just make sure that all of these waves are pushed in immediately. So, okay.
Quite the
A bit of
fumble
a blunder.
by Atomic Squad, I feel like there. After like such a great play from Dior, getting the fear onto Bipolar Sunshine to save Kuba from being just insta blown up in the fight. And then we just lose the Baron buff.
Yeah, now actually York pulled out, will go golden as Bobo is also there. Senbet needs to watch out, using the Butsman to get away. It's very, very smart as the fight is starting. Bobo still gets onto the Senbet though. As Sunlight now also has to run away. Xior and Kuba are chasing after Bipolar Sunshine. Bipolar Sunshine wants to try to go forward, but the damage isn't quite there. Xior has the shield. In the meantime, it is the Nacho will be taken down. Sunlight was able to get away. Now Gekno wants to finish off his lane counterpart. Gekno flashing across the wall. Kuba though has the Valkyrie to go through as well as the NPC also shows up. As Kuba now just will take down Gekno. The shield is there, but there's no flash left to go across the wall. And Atomic Squad, they might be actually looking for the end here, as Kuba is just holding Gekno here for as long as possible.
Kuba.
Kuba just playing it smart. Gekno does get the shield, though. Kuba needs to watch how high is the damage to make sure that that fight is won. And Atomic Squad, we are happy about Frostbite, but
Potentially look to win.
honestly, right now, they are just have everything as... Yeah, Sunlight has to go into the pool, though they weren't quite quick enough. Sunbet and Sunlight will shoot up, so Atomic Squad recognizing they can't go much further. And they will stop their pursuit. And yeah, at the end, Frostbite just... They looked for a nice catch there, but actually your going golden was so much and the rest of the team was so close. So I think Atomic Squad... What they also did really well last week was just being able to stick together in those plays. And now it is by pronunciation. He's going for it again, but what is there to gain? He will just fall as now. Atomic Squad might be looking for the end. Sunlight will fall. Sandbet has the killer instinct across the wall, but Leonie's NPC is waiting there. As now Sandbet in trouble will be hit by the Shadow Surge. It's the kill also secured, and this will be it. Frostbite, they looked so strong, but it's sudden, but it all just turns around. They're just too aggressive. They wanted to fix their mistakes. As a result, Atomic Squad will win this game, will go to the finals, and Frostbite will be knocked down to the lower bracket. As Atomic Squad with this will be securing relegation, or at least the chance to relegate up to Division 2, and promote, I guess, up to Division 2. But Frostbite will be back next Monday.
One insane game, honestly. Like I think Maribov had the highest kill count like at the end of that game. But commiserations for Frostbite. It was so well for. They were doing so well for so long. It felt like, and then Kuba just stepped up and just started one tapping people left and right, and it felt like there was dealing with it was just too difficult.
Yeah, I think there were just some absolutely brilliant plays by Atomic, but I think there are also just plays where Frostbite were just going a bit too aggressive, especially towards the end. I think they knew they were behind, they knew the enemy had Baron, but they still were just forcing fights the moment they saw them, instead of deciding to just reset, wait, know that they skill well, just wait for the team fight to give up perhaps a bit of space now to try to just skill back. But instead they were just trying to jump on every member they saw, and yeah, it just was really problematic, and as a result they did fall. So good play to the side of Atomic Squad. Congratulations to them. I'm not sure whether we will be having an interview, so I guess I will just let production handle that. If they do want it, then Atomic Squad, please put it in the chat. But for the meantime, we will just be waiting. And yeah, I would perhaps with a potential revisit of these teams, what do you want them to focus on?
I'm not sure. I like after watching this series, especially, I feel like Frostbite have to put way more focus into shutting down Kuba. Like for me, Kuba was player of the series. He performed so insanely well on both of Atomic Squad's wins, and like I think he finished like 15-0 on the center, and then here on the Corki, like again over 10 kills. So it felt like he was a real star factor for Atomic Squad, and I really feel like Frostbite should look to shut that down and make sure that that can't happen, because it feels like the solo laners for Frostbite are very able and content to just sit and chill for a good chunk of the game, which means that a lot of the action needs to come through the bot lane. And I feel like the shutting Kuba down or not being able to shut Kuba down makes it a lot more difficult.
Yes, it's just I think yeah, I think another thing is just that the fact is that Atomic Sword have just been really able to, I think, funnel Kuba really effectively. Yeah, they just need to shut him down. But I think especially in those later fights, and I think the biggest thing that Atomic Sword did really, really well today was make sure that Paparosashan couldn't replay his champions. Because I think in the second and third game he had to play the Jarvan, which I mean, he did play okay, but he just wasn't able to have quite the dominating performance as he was able to have on the Volibear, on the Nocturne. So by taking away so many of his scary picks of the picks that he can really carry on, I feel like he just didn't have the same impact as he had had it in so many other games, and that really allowed him to sort of just carry Frostbite, I think, through some of those games. So yeah, just good play with him. I'm still right. So yes, we will be going for an interview. Kuba will be joining us, as I think he can just join in a second. I'm not sure.
Oh,
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Congratulations.
thank you so much.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start. Yeah, so yeah, once again, congratulations for the win. What did you change after game one to make sure that you could come back so strong?
Mainly what it was picking a comfort pick. I actually have no idea what I'm doing on Lucian, and we were all a bit tense and all a bit worried about what we were going to put me on, and we kind of panicked the Lucian, and then we realized that we can't be making draft mistakes like this. We need to start giving people comfort. So I asked for Senna game 2 and for Corki game 3, and everyone was happy, and this happiness led to a large morale boost, and that helped us win these games.
Nice. Okay, I gotta know. How cooked did you feel at the 3v1 Baron call? Like,
Uh, this happened last week as well. I died to Baron last week. I keep forgetting that these Baron particles they deal damage now. I swear
they do indeed.
it used to be a decorative thing, like it used to like shred, or it used to be like a little scare, but it actually deals damage now.
Yeah, so
And
just
I
standing
keep
in the
forgetting this.
yeah, so just standing in the thing. I was like, that does damage, but I wasn't also sure whether it killed, and then it just disappeared. So yeah. But
Also, we were calling to just not do the Baron and go mid instead, but the team was adamant that we do Baron, and then there's the proof that we can't do Baron because we died to it.
well, it worked out in the end. You were able to still get the win quite quickly after, so perhaps it was the right call. It gave
Yeah,
Frostbite
but
all the confidence.
now Baron steals the MVP, so I don't know if I can really be happy.
Ah, yeah, frustrating. Do you have more questions?
Yeah, in the Corki game especially, I felt like the early game wasn't going as well for you guys through the bot lane as maybe you felt like it could have, especially in the Corki versus Kai'Sa matchup. It like for me, I feel like that's very Corki favored. And then, what moment was it for you where you realized, oh, I'm actually not weak right now. I'm just like giga strong.
It's the second you get Trinity Force. Like this champion evolves when he gets Trinity Force. Pre-Trinity Force, he doesn't exist, but with his Spellblade passive, the second he gets Trinity Force, he just starts nuking people. That's all it is really. If you can survive until your Sheen item, then you're good to go.
Nice.
Yeah, and perhaps also coming into this week, of course, you'd played Frostbite on stage before. What were your biggest sort of adaptations from the first series?
We just realized that we can't be playing Ari or Vi because this is something that they do in pro play, but we're just not pro players and we can't do it. So we just decided to stick to comfort instead and play things that we're comfortable on instead, and it ended up working out. If we don't stress too much about draft and trying to make these combo wombos, then it works out for the better.
Is the spellbook Udyr a comfort pick as well?
I've never seen him do that in my life.
Was
He
that
didn't even
actually like
tell
a
us.
was that like a misclick, or was he actually like coping on it and saying it was good? Like,
He believes that it's a thing, and we didn't even know that he believed it's a thing. We loaded into game, and we see it just like the enemy team. The enemy team were questioning it too, the same as us. But he seems to believe that it's a tactic, and like we trust him. So, but no, we've never seen him pull that off in his life.
Just a TikTok Udyr moment. It sounds like. Like,
Yeah, our jungler be
that-
like that sometimes.
It does have a 100% win rate, so I guess you can put that on the YouTube. No,
You
but
gotta add that
yeah,
to u.gg.
all right. I think I'm generally out of questions. Elwood, do you have more
no,
information?
I've got nothing more to say.
Right. Well, then I think I want to thank everyone who has joined us today. Thanks to both teams, especially Kuba, for this interview. Thank you to Elwood
Thank you.
for the nice cast, and I guess we will be seeing you next week. We will be back Monday. I'm not sure what we will be streaming. Maybe we will be streaming Frostbite Chaos in their run through the lower brackets of UKEL Dev 3. So thank you everyone, and see you next time.
Thank you very much. Bye.